man, look, we're back once again this Sunday on the Undisputed GOAT podcast. In the great words of Simon, from Die Hard 2, no and no flashing lights, no pain, no fancy little countdown, just getting right into it, just sticking our foot into the ass of the situation on this late Sunday night. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, look, how's everybody doing today, man? I know that this week has been one exciting week, man. It's been one of those weeks where the sports world has been on fire, but everything just went from crazy to crazier this week. So, man, before we get right into it, man, how's everybody doing, man? We know it's Christmas time in the city. So, how's everybody Christmas shopping going and shit like that? You know, JC Penney just closed a lot of shit. So, how's that going for everybody?
I'm doing all right. Me and the kiddo on Friday night, we set up our Christmas tree and got that up and running. Just watched Santa Claus movies and ate some cookies and just did stuff like that. She's got a bunch of stuff coming in the mail for a bunch of hockey gear, so she's going good. Everything's going great. I had a good weekend, and I think Christmas is in full swing.
I haven't. Shoot, I haven't gotten started really with any shopping yet. We do have our tree up here, but I know it's coming soon because I know they're giving out ideas as far as like because like my niece got something and they showed it to me like, okay, like let them know how much it is so you can get your daughter this because she's gonna want it. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I think it's a couple things I'm gonna have to eye down and try to get for her, and kind of look out for me too because I know it's a couple of things I need to get. So it ain't swung off yet, but it's about to. But hey, this is like one of the best times of the year. I mean, it's Christmas, and it's like it's good to be around family. It's good to be able to kind of either treat yourself or treat your family or let your family treat you, and things whatever you want. So it's that time of the year, man. So and on top of that, man, sports is sporting. Sports is sporting at a high right now. So can't really complain and can't go wrong there.
Hey, I'm gonna make a video tomorrow on TikTok, man, and it's gonna say what you're getting for Christmas this year. And you know what I'm gonna say? Nothing. So just gonna be real. But big shout out to Sports PSP, man. Did a hell of a show this past Friday on the Sports PSP podcast, up to 160,000. Hey, we're gonna get right into that UGA versus Bama game a little bit later. And shout out to my guy DC. I understand. I feel your pain, man, because Marlon Humphrey and that defense has not done a great job. But we're gonna get into that, man. We're gonna get into that. And shout out to my people on Instagram, my main man T1000. He knows who he is. We gonna get right.
Not Jacob in the building. What's up,
Yeah,
Jacob?
yeah. We done made it now, man. We done made it. We done
What
made
up, Jacob?
Jacob done made it. My guy T1000. That's what I like to call him. T1000. Hey man, go check him out on Instagram and on TikTok, man. I think he has over like 500,000 followers at this point. Jacob does. I mean, he up
Something like that. Yeah,
there. Yeah, yeah, he up
he's up there.
there. Yeah, he up there. So look, let's just get right into it, man. Look, what's so funny about all of this stuff going on in college football is I have some analytics and some opinions about this last week. BRF, you had some, but the loudest voice out of all of us when it comes to college football on this panel had to be Flash. It had to be Flash because he was talking about how college football was versus what it has become. And look, I have to ask you this first. I have to aim this direction directly to you. Look, do you think that the college football playoff that an injustice was done on the part of Notre Dame? Do you think that was an injustice?
Well, I don't think. All right, I think we're going to run into this. No matter how many teams we add to the college football playoff, we're going to run into everybody's going to. There's going to be a school or that feels that they were, that something there was an injustice to them. So like nobody's ever going to be completely happy as long as we have a voting system or a computer generated system or whatever it is. Then a combination of the two, somebody's always going to whine and complain. Do I feel bad for Notre Dame? No, and as somebody Notre Dame guy, win more games. Sorry, it just is what it is. So as blunt as that is, I just do I think an injustice was done? No. Would I rather have them and than Tulane? Sure, probably. But you know, this is the thing that we're kind of running into with college football is that nobody's ever happy with what we have when it comes to whether it be bowl season or the playoff system. And at some point, we have to just kind of settle on something. Like I know part of it is like for clicks and views, and we like to argue about things and discuss things. Part of the reason why we're all sitting here today. But we're getting close to whiny bitchy territory with this stuff.
BRF, what do you think? Was it injustice done on the part of Notre Dame? Now, before you go and give your answer, I would like to add this. The first two games that they played were against ranked teams. They played the University of Miami, who were ranked number 10 at the time, and they played Texas A&M, and they lost in two close games. The Miami game was 24-27, and the Texas A&M game was 41-40. Now, from there, they proceeded to reel off 10 straight games, but in those 10 straight wins, the only two teams that were ranked during that point in time was Pitt, who was ranked number 22, and USC, that is, which was ranked number 20. So yeah, those first two games them losing one of those first two games kind of set them back a little bit, especially with that light and ass kind of schedule that they had.
Yeah.
True, but I'd rather have those losses on. I'd rather have the Miami loss on the first week of the schedule than Florida State, who ended up going 5-7. Alabama. I mean, look. I'm sorry. 3 losses, you should not get in. Point blank. Period. You should not get in off of 3 losses. And there's going to be, and yes, I get it. Bama had quality wins. I mean, at one point, I get it. They beat 4 straight ranked teams at one point of the season, including Georgia and Athens. That's very true. But you still lost to Florida State. You still lost to Oklahoma. And then you ran your mouths all week talking about what you were going to do to Georgia, talking about you was in our head, and Georgia politely 3 touchdown you in the SEC championship game. So 3 losses. I'm sorry. They shouldn't get in with 3 losses. And that's the one thing I don't. As much as I love being an SEC guy, that's the one thing I don't like about the SEC. They will pull the strength of schedule card until it's not effective anymore. And
Yeah,
and
but,
it's and go ahead.
Notre Dame sets their schedule too, don't they?
I mean, yeah, and then you got some people saying, well, that's why you need to go to a conference. That's why you need to go to a conference. They lost 3 games.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry, 3 games. I'm sorry, you should not get in off of 3 losses. You shouldn't. Just
wait a
no.
minute, but then you're making an argument if South Dakota State goes undefeated, but an Alabama team that's got 3 wins. Who do you want to win the playoff? You want to see Alabama or South Dakota State?
I mean, of course, everybody's. I mean, this is how I feel about that, though. I get that because Alabama is always going to be the sexier team of the two.
Yep.
But to have the losses that you have on your schedule, I get you played. I get you had a tougher schedule, but you still have the losses on your resume. You still have a 2 touchdown loss to Florida State. You still have a 2 point loss to Oklahoma. And you have one of the worst beatdowns all year to the University of Georgia Bulldogs. That is still on your resume.
Yeah, but they
still on your resume. That's 3. Yes, they beat us, but we got it back.
But
I get it.
Yeah, but is there any game on Notre Dame's schedule that comes close to beating the number 1 team or the number 3 team in the country?
But they also still only have 2 losses. They only have 2 losses. I'm sorry, 3 losses should be process. 3 losses should be process of elimination. I mean, this is kind of the corner they backed themselves into.
But this goes to my point. You're making my argument for me right now on why these conferences are stupid now.
Well, the thing is, I will say this. Here's what I'll say. People always say, well, you should be punished for your conference loss. There's been teams that have been punished for their conference losses. You know a team that was punished twice for a conference
Us.
loss? Yes, we got punished for it. One time we got punished and we was defending national champions. We lost against Alabama. They said get the fuck out. I mean, I'm just being real. Am I lying?
But this is why the argument that everybody should have had, that everybody should have a conference title game. This is where the Notre Dame thing. I don't think Notre Dame should join a conference, but this is kind of what hurts them. So it's their choice. A lot of these things are their choices. They didn't make a tougher schedule this year. They are choosing not to be part of a conference. So, and looking at their schedule, they don't have. There's not one quality win on here at all. Like none.
Not even the USC game.
No, they're not compared to Alabama. But Alabama beat Georgia. Alabama beat Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Tennessee. And mind you, whooped Tennessee, by the way. Whether we can think, whatever we think of LSU, beat them 20-9. They still beat Auburn. And you can't sit here and say the SEC is the top, conference and then, and not count those as quality wins. And I look at Notre Dame and look, I'm a Notre Dame guy, but I look at that schedule and I just go, what did you couldn't even pull off wins against Miami and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the point is I can't, there's the only argument and I understand BRF's argument where if you lose 3 games, then that should be your out. But if that's the only argument against Alabama and for Notre Dame, then give me a better candidate than Notre Dame. And I don't think there is one. And that's the thing. And I think that's where the committee kind of came in and they said, well, who else were we going to put in?
Yeah. And Miami, they had the head-to-head win. And that was
I'm cool with Miami getting in. Miami should definitely get in because they had that head advantage beat Notre Dame. I'm extremely cool. I'm cool with Miami getting in. They should have got in. But if we're gonna go off of who had the better win, who had the worst losses?
Okay, I got a question.
Okay.
Is your bias getting into this right now because you hate Alabama?
No.
3
It's 3 losses. They should not get in. No, this has nothing to do with bias. I'm looking at 3 losses.
But then make the argument. Hold up. But then make the argument on who gets in over them.
I feel like if we're gonna go there with Alabama having the better wins than Notre Dame, I can flip that and say, okay, I get that. But look at Florida. Look at the fact that you lost by 2 touchdowns to Florida State, and then you lose by 3 touchdowns in the SEC championship game against the Georgia Bulldogs. And at least with both of Miami's losses, they were close. At least with Notre Dame's losses, they were close and hung to the end of the game. They were both close. They were both close losses. They weren't like they got blown out in both. They were close losses.
I agree, but you're avoiding my question. Who would you put in besides?
I just said Notre Dame. I'm not avoiding my question. Notre Dame should get in
because I don't think Notre Dame should get in. That's the thing. So if we both agree that Notre Dame and Alabama technically don't deserve to be in and those arguments are valid, I agree with your arguments. But at the same time, if the choices are between Alabama and Notre Dame, that's where I disagree. Is because as much as Miami and Texas A&M, that's great. Those 2 games are great. That's fine that they were close. But if you look at the rest of their schedule,
it's light ass.
Yeah. Just look at Alabama's schedule. To me, a win over Georgia and that streak of Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Tennessee. And look, everybody wants to complain about the loss to Oklahoma. That was a really close game. 1. 2, it was Oklahoma. And 3, Oklahoma finished 11th in the country. So it's not like Oklahoma is like an unranked ass team here. So, don't get me wrong. Yeah, they kind of shit the bed last night or yesterday. But
they haven't been playing well for the last month.
Quick question. This is a question from Jacob real quick. Do you think that Group 5 team should be banned from the playoffs?
Say it again.
Do you think that Group of 5 teams should be banned from the playoffs?
The G5.
Because they never win anything, to Jacob's point.
I don't think so. Because the reason why I say that is because I feel eventually, I think with the way NIL is, and because I feel like I think eventually there are going to be more players that are going to start going to these schools because of wanting because of NIL money, because wanting immediate playing time. I think a few more of these high profile players are going to start going to some of these schools. Eventually, one of these G5 schools is going to take somebody down. So I feel like if these G5 schools are willing to hand out money for these players, they should not be banned from this playoff. If they're in it too, as far as having their own NIL money and being able to hand this out and be able to get these players, they should not be banned from the playoff. Whether they can win or not, I feel like if they're contributing money to the cause, they should not be banned.
Another quick question. So, first round is Oklahoma versus Alabama, right? The winner faces Indiana, right?
Yes,
Can
that's
you
correct.
imagine the shit show that it would cause if one of those teams beats Indiana?
And it's possible, but I'm gonna be honest with you. The way Alabama looked against Ohio State, I don't see it
No,
because I'm looking.
against Oklahoma. I'm talking about Oklahoma versus Alabama. If one of those teams advance and beats Indiana, what kind of shit show would it start? Would it expose a lot of fraud teams coming out of the Big Ten? Because remember, the fraud that was out of the Big Ten last year was Oregon. It was Oregon because
Oregon's always been a fraud when it comes to playoff time. That's no different from them. They were a fraud in the Pac-12. That's no different. That's no
yeah,
different with them.
because Ohio State came out there and won and beat the hell out of them last year.
Yeah. See the reason why I kind of put a little caveat on that. Oregon's always been like that. Oregon's always been like that. They have really good regular seasons, and then they get the big time bowls or the playoffs, and they fold up. Oregon's always done that. That's not just a Big Ten thing with Oregon. They've always been like that.
Yeah.
So Oregon wasn't really Oregon getting thrashed like they did by Ohio State last year was not surprising in the least.
Okay. But in my humble opinion, look, I'm gonna just be real. I'm gonna give my opinion about this. I have to give it mine about this before we move forward. As a Southern man, as an SEC diehard to the loyal to the conference type of guy, five SEC teams, I'm all for it. As a biased SEC fan, as a journalist, 3 games, and it's not necessarily you losing; it's how you lose. It's how you lose. And like I stated, if people can say, "Well, that's the difference because that was the 4 team," no, you have to keep the same energy year round.
People are saying that a lot. People are saying that a lot because it was a 4 team compared
No,
to a 12 team playoff. A lot of people are saying that.
You have to keep the same energy. You have to keep the same energy year round, year after year. Now, if you're gonna play in your conference game, like I stated, not only did Georgia lose out, remember BYU this year, they lost out. They lost out. They played in their conference game.
Went in 11-1.
Exactly. Then, not to mention, you got to think about this too. Remember the year Ohio State won their conference. They won their conference one year, and guess what? They didn't get in. And there was a big stake about that. So you have to ask yourself, when are we going to start keeping the same energy and stop moving the goalposts when it comes to Bama? This is not Nick Saban's Bama anymore. To Flash's point, this is not Nick Saban's Bama. So the thing is, we got to stop moving the goalposts. If Georgia was defending national champions a couple of years ago. We had one loss and got kicked out of the college football playoffs. We didn't even get a chance to defend the title. And I said it on a video that I had on TikTok that day. I said, we didn't win. We didn't deserve to get in. You know what's on the line when you go to these championships. You know what's on the line, especially when you have 2 losses.
I got a question. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Can Notre Dame beat Alabama, Oklahoma, or Indiana?
I'm going to be honest. I think they can. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I think they can.
I don't think I don't think that Oklahoma has the offensive onslaught that they used to have. I think Mattia, he struggles a lot. Ty Simpson, he got exposed last night. And look, their defense from Notre Dame is damn good. So
Yeah.
they can keep up with Indiana.
You
So
you and you exactly. You got to remember last year Georgia played Notre Dame. What was it? What was it?
the
Quarterfinals,
semifinals, yeah.
semifinals. Notre Dame's defense ripped them apart.
I,
So
just saying.
but yeah, that's an answer. No, I'm not being rude. I'm just answering the question.
No,
But
you're fine. I want an honest
but
answer. I
I
just
don't know if Oklahoma can beat. I don't know if neither one of those teams can beat Indiana. I'm just going to
I
be
have to
real
say
because of the because of their offense. I mean, offense usually. This is not the look. I'm just going to be real. When I watch Oklahoma now, and I like Oklahoma because not only is PSP a fan of Oklahoma, but one of my best friends, Big Cal, shout out to Big Cal if he watching. Both of those guys are Oklahoma fans. So every time they watch a game, I watch a game. I'm used to the heart attack games of Oklahoma. I'm used to them going out there and putting up 40, 50 points a game. This is not the Oklahoma that I'm used to. They go out there and they get out of there by the skin of their teeth. So I don't know if they got enough offensive onslaught in order to beat Indiana. Same with Alabama. You laid an egg against Georgia just last night. So it got beat bad, and Ty Simpson did not look the same. If you really put film in that 2021 national championship game of Bryce Young and put film of Ty Simpson last night, if you really put that film right next to each other, it's the same game plan. They put a lot of pressure on him. They forced him into situations. They forced him to get the ball out quicker than he wanted to, and they put those playmakers on lock. Not to mention they play. I've never seen a team play safeties high all damn game. They played safeties high the whole damn game.
They played safety. They did that because they didn't think Ty Simpson was going to be able to beat them. A, because that's how much better their defense has been playing, and two, that's how much lack of confidence they had in Ty Simpson as far as beating him down the field. And you saw that when Ty Simpson, when Alabama made their plays, it was yak. You got the ball in the hands of the playmakers, and they did their thing after it. But it was nothing. It was nothing deep. It was nothing deep because it was front four pressure. They mixed the blitz in every once in a while, but that Georgia front seven. That I said this on my I said this on my video when I said shoot champ. That was the nastiest defensive performance I've seen from them all year. That was peak 22. That was peak 21, 22. Those back to back national championships. That's what that front seven looked like. That's
Another
exactly what that front seven looked like.
another quick question, real quick. Do y'all realize that Alabama? This is another example on how they lost. They didn't pass the Georgia 40 into the third quarter,
They had
until the
negative three
Minnesota
rushing
quarter.
yards the whole game. They had
Yeah,
negative three rushing yards the whole game.
yeah. So it's not necessarily you losing; it's how you lost. And like I stated, when you go into these conference championship games, no matter if it's the BCS, no matter if it's the 14 playoff, no matter if it's the 8 team or the 16 team playoff, you know what's on the line, especially when you have two losses. So all that whining and complaining, well, we deserve. No, when you lose, you've lost. Out with you. And like I stated, as a Southern SEC fan, I'm glad that Oklahoma got in. I'm glad that Texas Tech got in. I'm sure as hell happy that Georgia got in. I'm happy that Bama got in, and whatever other SEC team got in. But at the same
Um,
time,
Ole Miss and A&M both got in.
Ole Miss and A&M both got in. So guess
does
what?
anybody else see the problem that all of those teams are SEC teams?
Well, the thing
Trust me, I don't like it no more. Trust me, I don't like it no more than you.
again, as a Southern guy, I love to see the South. But as a journalist, I'm going to be honest with you. You have to call Southern bias, which leads into my next question right here is, I mean, is it just Southern bias at this point when it comes to the did the committee get it right, or is it just Southern bias at this point?
I'll start it off. I mean, for what it's worth, the SEC, in a sense, has they've kind of earned this a little bit from just the sheer domination in terms of national championships over the last 2 decades, whether it's Bama, Florida, LSU, Georgia. I mean, they've earned that because it almost feels like there have been so many years where you see these teams come out of nowhere and they have these really good seasons, and then they run into the SEC school, they run into the big bad SEC school at the time, and they send them back to wherever they come from. There's been too many years of that, so they've earned that a little bit. But at the same time, I really feel like if this was another conference, we wouldn't be this up in arms about it. It would be like, I mean, look at the Big 12 championship. I mean, BYU goes in there 11-1, gets thrashed. Nope, we're not worried about you anymore. Bama, granted they have the resume, but they're still coming in with 2 losses. They come in, get thrashed. Not only did they get thrashed, they didn't even move. They were ninth in the CFP rankings coming into the game, and they stayed ninth. They didn't even move. Like, that's what, and then and another big thing I'm seeing is like, if Alabama didn't get in, they would set the precedent as far as the conference championships don't matter. You're already making it feel like all the other conference championships outside of really the SEC and the Big Ten don't matter. You're almost already at that point to a certain level because it's the standpoint. Because it's the standpoint of them getting in with 3 losses just off of the sheer fact that they're in the SEC and they can pull out that strength of schedule card. Granted, it's one of the better cards you could play, but they can pull that out any year and bam, that's all they need. But I still feel like to a certain extent, and they have looked really bad over the last month. They have not looked like Alabama at all. So it's from the standpoint that they're coming in not even looking like one of the best 12 teams in the country right now. It's the sheer fact
I don't. How
that
do you
that they had all this that they had all this built up before the game, and then it's almost like, well, we lose this, we still gonna get in because we already had this built up.
But I'm confused on how you say that they haven't looked like Alabama for a month. They beat Eastern Illinois 56-0. They beat Auburn.
That's it. That's Eastern Illinois.
I'm just saying that's what Alabama is supposed to do to Eastern Illinois.
That's what they're exactly. That's what they're supposed to do to Eastern Illinois.
Exactly. So they beat Auburn 27-20. Okay. Before that,
kind of had to watch that game, Flash.
What?
You kind of had to watch that game, Flash, because I paid close attention to that game. That was one of those games where you look at the box score, it doesn't match the eye test, brother.
I'm not. Look, this is to my point. I'm not saying like, okay. So here's the thing: when it comes to a in conference rivalry game like Auburn,
Yeah.
okay, we see this constantly where it's rivalry games and it's a close, not knock it out, drag it out game. So when I see a rivalry game that goes down to the wire for some reason and a team pulls it out, that doesn't make me go, well, man, that team that won just can't play. They're just not playing. They smoked Eastern Illinois, which is what they're supposed to do. They had a close game with Oklahoma, which is the 11th in the country. Okay. And just, a couple more tips of the thing could have gone either way with that game. And yeah, don't get me wrong. They shit the bed yesterday against Georgia, but they also beat Georgia too. So,
and they broke out. To your point, they broke the streak. We had I think it was a 40-game winning streak at home.
Yeah,
like you really come to Athens to get your ass whooped. Let's just be
that's
real.
Too. So, like, if you look at that win at Georgia on top of it, it's at Georgia. It was also at Missouri. I just look. I don't see anything on Notre Dame's schedule that pops out at me. Now, when it comes to the Southern bias thing, to BRF's point, the SEC, the original SEC, has earned that. This goes back to the year that Notre Dame got in the national title game. This is when Eddie Lacy was still at Alabama, and it was like watching the freshman football team against the varsity team, and they just mowed on over. And until we see other teams besides Ohio State, make any kind of push against the original SEC teams, then I don't think it's Southern bias. This is why I look, and I'm a Notre Dame guy, and I just don't see it. I don't see where like why I want to the point of the college football play, the argument, the original argument was we want quality football, correct?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alabama versus Oklahoma and possibly going against Georgia again is more quality football than right now, at least the argument right now, than Notre Dame getting in right now. Now, I could make an argument like I don't think Tulane should be in. You can make an argument like, I mean, does anybody think Tulane's got a shot against? Well, with all the drama at Ole Miss, there's a possibility for that to go south.
I was about to say, if Lane Kiffin was still coaching and everything was intact, absolutely not. But with everything that's going on, I'm not ruling nothing out.
No, I'm not either. But then Tulane's got to go play Georgia after that if they beat Ole Miss, and we all know how that's going to happen. Now,
I think we know how it's going to go. Whoever wins that game, but that's another conversation.
Yes, even if Ole Miss wins that game with all their drama, there's no way they're going to beat Georgia. Does Notre Dame have a better shot than Tulane or Ole Miss to beat Georgia?
Yes, they would.
Notre Dame plays better defense, so I give them more of a chance because they play better defense.
Are they a better football team than Tulane?
Oh, absolutely.
Then Tulane needs to get out of here.
Yeah, that goes back to what Jacob was saying. Do they need to play a Group of 5 school?
I don't. It's a participation trophy. It just is. Look, and this is no hate on Tulane. It's just reality. And I'm kind of where Jake is. I think look. This goes against my old school nature about where I'm more old school about this. Jacob's saying that we should go away from the conference title games, and I think we should. And the only reason we're doing those is to hold on to tradition. Well, we've completely shit on tradition in general. We don't have actually the conferences don't mean anything anymore. We now teams are starting to not. We'll get into that in a minute. Now they don't even want to play in bowl games. So, bowl game tradition. Let's just embrace throwing over the checkers board, okay? And I'm sorry, but make a separate cute schools playoff system or something, and like Tulane and Eastern Carolina and teams like that can fight it out, and then they can get a toy soldier for a trophy, and we can be like, oh, that's so cute for you guys. I'm glad you guys came to the party, and then let the big boys play. And and until I just don't see a reason why. I think Jake's right. They will never win against like Indiana. I'm going to sit here and say I was completely wrong about Indiana. I thought Ohio State was going to show them who Daddy was. And I was wrong. And I'm happy to say that I was wrong. But I think Indiana is still an exception to the rule.
Quick question, Flash. PSP question from PSP is more of the SEC teams in the college football playoff or a format for the SEC to recapture their dominance?
No, because it's not the actual SEC anymore. Like it's only like the SEC. It's just in name. It's not really like I don't think the Big Ten is the Big Ten anymore. Like it's not I don't. I don't know. This is the problem. We're in this middle ground where we are hanging on a tradition, but we're trying to move on with something new, and you can't do both. At some point, one of the dams is going to break. So either we hold on to tradition and we start backtracking a little bit, which is more my stance and what I think should happen, or we just embrace change and shatter the whole, like I said, and just shatter the whole board. I don't even think the SEC exists anymore. I don't even think it should be called the SEC.
Another quick question for both of y'all, real quick. Got to ask this question. But this is a question that I keep asking. But it's just like more and more as things unfold, it just seems like that's just what it's going to be. Should we just go ahead and switch to a 16 team playoff game? And look, if your team, look, I'll say 16 at max 19. Well, 18. Max 18. If you don't get in, your damn season's over. Because right now, it was one thing when the young men were opting out of the bowl games. That was one thing. And I get it. You're getting ready to go to the NFL. Well, some of you are getting ready to go to the NFL. You're not trying to risk injury. I understand. But when an entire team, and it's not just, and we're going to just segue into the next segment with this question, because it's not just Notre Dame that opted out. Florida State opted out. Kent State not opted out. Uh, Iowa State, they opted out. And it was just a whole lot of teams that have opted out of bowl games. It's just, is it just time to say, hey, look, here's what we're going to do. Your conference is going to matter now. Your conference is going to matter. Everything, every game is going to matter. We're going to get this playoff system, and these are the damn rules, and we're going to stick with them every single year. And it's not going to be an exception. If you don't win your conference, you drop in the rankings. If you don't have the quality wins, you drop in the rankings. If you don't have specifics of this code, and I want it written in writing every single year, then you drop in the rankings. And if you're not a part of this 18 to 16 team playoff, then guess what? No more bowl, no more participation trophies as far as these bowl games. Since your asses want to opt out, then you want to get out of here. Hey, shout out to my main man TJ. He got it right. Auburn, they opted out. They opted out as well. Shout out to my main man TJ, one of the best offensive linemen I ever played with, by the way. But yeah, they should really consider bringing. Just say, hey, no more participation trophies to try to get you schools money. We're gonna do it like the guys below us are doing, like the D2 and the D3 teams are doing. Guess what? You get into this playoff. This is the criteria, and we're no longer gonna if you don't get in, don't go bitching to the media. This is the criteria, and this is how it's going to be followed every single year. No more bowl games. The playoffs is what matters. What would you guys say for that?
I can get with that. I can get with an 18 team and then having that plan for the last first round spot like what they do with the NCAA with the men's tournament now. They have the it's not 64, well it's 66 teams now. 65 and 66 play the play-in game, and the winner gets that 16 seed against the 1 seed in whatever region is in. I could get with that. I can get with that. I wouldn't go beyond that because this is how I feel. Champ, you say that, but you know it's gonna be bitching.
No,
I'm just
not
I get what you're
if,
saying. I get
not
what you're
if.
saying.
No. Not if it's in writing. I'm gonna just be real. If you put something, look, the thing is this. No one would have been bitching about the NFL MVP if the same energy is kept every single year. If it's the
But
best,
what do you constitute? Okay, I'm gonna kill your argument to a certain extent right here.
yeah,
What determines a quality win?
a top 10 win, a road win, a top 10 out of conference game, or beating a top 10 opponent on the road, or beating a top 20.
You literally just made the argument for Alabama to be in for over Notre
No,
Dame.
no, but that's what I'm saying. If you're going to keep this energy, keep it the same every year. You can't sit around here and change the goalposts every year. The thing is, you can't change it. When Georgia was in the same position a couple years back, they hadn't won their conference. They were defending national champions. If anybody deserved the benefit of the doubt, it would have been them because they were trying to defend their title. They hadn't lost the game all year. One loss, they was out. Ohio State, same thing. LSU 1 year, same thing. So the thing is, we have to keep the same energy every single year. Now, do I mind what they said about Alabama? Like I said, as a Southerner, no, I don't mind about that. But the thing is, we have to keep the same energy every year, and I want it in writing. That way, everybody understands your conference matters. Everybody understands quality wins matter. Everybody understands
all right. So
if
then,
you
are
have
you
this many
forcing?
losses, you're automatically disqualified.
So then, are you forcing Notre Dame to be in a conference then?
The thing is, nobody bitches about Notre Dame being in a conference until they lose. Until
No,
you
you're forcing them to schedule better is what you're doing. You are forcing them to put you are forcing them to put one or two non-conference games on there that can like
blow them out the
you
water.
yeah
But
yeah.
but then they should have done that originally in the first place.
But
Because
these but you know these I get that, but you know these schedules are done like years in advance. So I mean we don't know.
well, that's the thing though. You have to. So then how do you do this then? So like that's
No,
something.
I'm talking about us as fans. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, you can't do it as fans. You have to do this to BRF's point. If this is going to be in writing, then we have to be consistent about it. So, you know, Notre Dame from year to year, is in charge of their schedule. And I look at their schedule and I mean, there's not a top 5 team in there. And the typical top 5 teams I've been there all the whole time. It's typically Alabama, Oregon, Georgia, and off the top of my head, Indiana's an outlier this year, but it's those, it's those typical teams, and they didn't schedule any of those, and it's their choice. And so, you can force it, but not. We're in a weird conundrum right now when it comes to college football because now, like I said, now we got teams that just don't even want to play in bowl games,
Yeah.
it's what I said last week. I told you all this was coming.
Yeah, but the thing is, they could fix it. And the thing is, once you have it in writing, no changing and moving the goalposts because it's Bama or Notre Dame. Once you have it in writing, this is the criteria. We're not changing it any year. It's kind of like when you talk about the MVP for the NFL. If you have the MVP, it's going to be the best player on the best team. Team success matters. All of this trying to give it to people because of carry jobs, which is a good thing, but trying to award it because of certain the eye test that's out. Best player, best team, that's who wins it. Once you put that in place, there is no follow ups. And the thing is, you have to put it in writing. If you lose your conference, it matters. Like I stated, we can't keep moving the goalposts for team. Like I stated, I want Bama in there. Like I said, I'm a Southern guy. But the thing is, we can't keep moving the goalposts so guys can get in there. Because does it if you say conference matters one year, and then the very next year, well, it shouldn't matter because they're no.
But
Because BYU, they just had the same problem.
just because they lost a comp doesn't mean that wasn't taken into consideration at all to the committee. Just because they lost to Georgia doesn't mean that the conference game didn't count or it doesn't matter. It's just
But they obviously didn't take it. Well, they obviously didn't take it much into consideration. They didn't move. They were ninth going in, and they stayed ninth.
yeah, but this is where rankings. All these rankings are subjective. All of them. We're literally proving that right now. All of them are subjective. I could have argued that let's say Georgia lost yesterday. You could move them down and from 3 or whatever, but would you really? No, because you can make an argument that they should stay at 3 because they're still the third best team in the country. This is all subjective. So
Yeah.
this is where like a hard line is. How do you play a hard line? So like to say that the conference championship game result wasn't taken into account, well, we don't really know. If you just look at it from its face value, they just looked at it that the loss yesterday meant less than what Notre Dame accomplished over the course of the year, including Alabama's prior wins and losses. So
Okay.
that's just how it is. It's just subjective. So to say that they do or don't matter, even if let's say you put it in writing. Let's say you put it in writing that conference games matter. Okay. Well, then let's say that's in writing. Then next year we end up in the same situation. We're in the same argument. Okay, it matters, but what does it mean to matter? But how much is it worth? Is a conference championship game lost to the number 3 team in the country and the defending national champions? Is that loss, regardless of however they lost, plus a win against that same team? Does that mean more or less than what Notre Dame was able to accomplish? Because you're still going to have a subjective argument, regardless of what you put in writing.
Okay.
And so you don't have. This is where we have to either keep tradition and be okay with it, or we have to move on and come up with actual divisions like the NFL. Actual divisions, divide up the whole, but not get rid of this SEC crap, get rid of this Big Ten crap, and make actual divisions by regions of the country, divide it all up, and then you make a however many playoff teams come from that. What kind of playoff structure you come with that? Then you do it by record and playoff loss, and you do away with the whole old system, and you just do an NFL style thing. Then there are no arguments. Then it's literally by record and head-to-head schedule and everything else. That's the only way to do this. We either put up with a little bit of the old system and tradition, and we keep tradition, or we literally toss the checkers board.
That is fair. Can't argue there.
That's why it's not a hot take. That's why it's not a hot take. It's the right take.
It's the right take. What are your thoughts about the college football teams opting out? What do you think? Is it a bad move? Is it a bad precedent to set just because? Well, I didn't get, and I'm just gonna be that old man, get off my lawn type of thing. I didn't get my way, so I don't want to play no more. Do you really think
That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Okay, you didn't get into the college football playoff. So what? Take your team out to the bowl game, showcase them on like a nationally televised scale. I mean, you do it enough, do it one more time, let your guys go out there and get that experience. You see, that's the thing though. It's about experience for the players too. And you know what I'm saying? It's not just about, oh well, we know, well, we didn't get in, da da da. It's not just about that. It's not about how much money you could have pulled going into the college football playoff. It ain't just about that. You got to think about the players too and the experience they're going to get. And regardless of what bowl is going to be, is traveling with your teammates, continually building, and just that brotherhood and that camaraderie that you already are building and that you have. I don't really care to see teams opting out like that, because that's just missed opportunities to go out and continue to play and continue to get better. I mean, because my thing is, you're marketing yourself for the NFL either way, especially if you have the talent to do it. You're marketing yourself either way. So why not put that extra game on your resume? Put that extra game on your resume for the scouts to see if you're trying to get to the NFL, and then you go from there with your training and your combine workouts and everything like that. Especially if you're a senior about to leave, or a junior that's going to declare, because you're like, they're just looking at you as like a high quality draft pick that's going to come into the league. So I personally don't like the teams opting out. I don't like it at all. But that's my opinion. That's how I feel. I don't like them opting out.
I don't either, but I don't. No, you play football. I don't. It's taking your ball and going home, just like what Champ said. I don't like it. It screams being a whiny bitch. But at the same time, I made the argument last week. Who wants to go and play the show 'em your titties bowl? Like, nobody. Like, why are we playing? Why are we going to go play and go? It doesn't mean anything. Where honestly, now I know I'm going against my own old school argument. This goes to my argument of getting rid of tradition, and moving on, or holding on to it. Now all these players are going to go play in this bowl game. They'll get a little bit of a cut. They'll get a couple nickels to go play in a bowl game and risk an injury. So for what? Nothing. It's literally nothing. And so we're this, and so I don't think this is I don't think this is I think it is a take your ball and go home thing, but I also think it's a political statement. I think it's a political statement because I think it's forcing the hand or trying to force the hand of we need to change this thing. So I'm hoping that this move by Auburn and Notre Dame will force a change, whether in some direction, either back to tradition or let's just move on and come up with an actual legit system where we get rid of stupid committees. So I don't like it. I think it is a little bit of a bitch move, but again, at the same time, I predicted this crap was going to happen last week because nobody wants to play in these bowl games. Yeah, exactly. The bra and panties bowl. Like nobody wants nobody wants to play in these stupid bowl games. Nobody wants to, play in the Hims Viagra bowl. Like nobody cares. Like this is stupid. Nobody's tuning in to watch these games. Like people have a lot of better things to do. Everybody's going to turn into the playoff games, and that's about it. And so I kind of don't blame teams. I'm wondering if the money just isn't even worth it anymore, because I wonder if people are actually,
Not to mention, I just found this out recently. Those schools that are invited there, they have to buy a certain amount of tickets for the fans.
Yep.
So
There you go.
I didn't know that. Me being a journalist, I didn't know that. I'm supposed to know that, but I didn't find out that until recently. I'm like, why the hell would you have to buy a certain amount of tickets? But yeah, that's just
It's kind of like this. I'm this is kind of funny actually. It's kind of like being a stripper. You have to pay to work.
so.
You got to pay the house to work, and that's what I think. That's why schools like Notre Dame and Auburn are going like, "Oh, I'm not paying if I'm not going to get anything out of this." Here's the thing: a couple $1 million extra for the year doesn't move the needle at Notre Dame and Auburn.
Yeah, especially when you're in your own conference as far as Notre Dame, and you just pulled in $100 million, and that's just off merch alone.
Yeah, and that's just and then on top of it, you have all these teams now that we have NIL money and donors can donate as much money as they want to. It doesn't matter. Again, bowl games don't matter.
Hey, Texas Tech, you know how much their roster cost this year? $28 million.
Oh yeah, I heard about
it's flowing down there. So that's
Wait, hold up. I want to pose this question again, not only to you guys, but to everybody in the chat, especially PSP. Are you happy? Are you more happy with the product we have now than what we had?
I didn't like the BCS. I hated the BCS. So I have to say, look, I'll take my chances going forward with college football playoff. Now, do I like some of the stuff that goes along with it? Hell no. Because the thing is, you can't be whiny about it, get boo-boo face, and do everything like that. Plus, I'm going to just be real. Look, listen. And I'm all for the players getting paid. Let me say that loud and clear. But if I pay your ass, you're going to play every game. And I'm going to put that in your contract.
Yeah.
If I give you $1 million a year, ain't no more opting out of bowl games.
Yeah.
Your ass is going to play every game.
Yeah. There's no protecting yourself anymore.
No, there's no protecting. No, you're getting paid.
Yeah.
I mean, guess what? If it's week 17, and guess what? If it's week 17, do the guys in the NFL get to go out there and say, look, I'm going to just wait the next year? No, they don't, because they're getting paid.
Yep.
So I'm paying you for every single game in the season. So let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. I would put in another rule, NIL. Guess what? Once you sign on that dotted line, because if y'all haven't noticed, there's a lawsuit going on with Georgia and another player that left Georgia, saying that he owes them $100,000 because he broke his NIL contract and transferred. I don't think enough people are paying attention to that. And if they win that lawsuit and they have to recoup that money, then guess what? That's going to set another precedent. Then you're going to have to sit your ass down when it comes to these transfer portals. But the thing is this. If you sign on that dotted line, guess what? You have to play every game. That's what they need to make these NIL contracts. Hey, all of this opting out, barring any injury, the only exception that I will make if I am a coach, is if you are a senior. That's the only exception that I will make. If you are a senior outside of the skill position, like if you're a senior defensive lineman or what have you, then guess what? I will make that exception. But if you are a senior at the skill position or something like that, guess what? You got to play every game.
So then, go ahead, BRF.
I'll say this though. I do like that. I'll say this though. If we're gonna keep a certain energy like that with the players, we got to do it with the coaches too.
Exactly what I. Wait,
Oh,
We got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it with the coaches too. You
No,
can't take no interviews. You can't take no contracts. You locked in for this season. You finish out this season, and then after the season, you can do whatever you want to do. Because you look at the Lane Kiffin situation. You look at Ole Miss about to go into the college football playoff. Lane Kiffin has to leave because he wanted to finish coaching there, and Ole Miss was like, "Nah, get the hell on." No, we got to keep that energy with the coaches too. If you locked in, you got to finish the season. After the season, do whatever you want to do when we're not playing. But while we're playing, you keep your butt right here.
but yeah. And oh yeah, speaking of paying the house to work, barbers got to pay the house to work too. So yeah, they got to pay their booth fee too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so just being throwing my little political correctness on it, and here come PSP. All right, PSP. All right.
I
Can you
mean,
blame me? I'm just playing.
the only choice there right now is Nikita Lyons because Megan Thee Stallion kind of, she got a boyfriend right now, so we can't go that route anymore.
Yeah,
Nikita,
she dating Kid.
em-
She
em- em-
she dating Kid and Play now. So she can't do it.
stop it, stop, stop. Don't, no, no, sir, no, sir.
All right, all right, all right. So look, let's take it down from the big picture and let's come back down to the South, since everybody want to be down with the South anyway. What is Kirby Smart's legacy with two SEC titles on this bet? On this belt of this, he's won five. He's won 3 in 5 years. He's won back-to-back national titles in 5 years. How much would he add to his legacy if he can win another Natty this year?
Um, he's people have been waiting on who's going to be the next Nick Saban. Kirby solidifies it. If he wins another one, he's the next Saban. I mean, because that's four SEC titles, and like you said, champ, 3 in 5 years, and then on top of that, this would be, I believe, this would be what, and so this would be a third national title. So I mean, he's already, in my opinion, he's already the greatest coach in the history of the university. Peace and love to Vince Dooley. But Kirby Smart's already the greatest coach in the history of that university. It's because of the success, and it's because of the success that he's already had. 4 SEC titles now. He's got 2 natties. Vince Dooley only got 1 natty. Um, as far as legacy, if he can finish this run and win a third national championship, is he in the first tier of great coaches all time? He's starting to knock on the door. He's starting to knock on the door when you look at the Sabans of the world, when you look at the Bear Bryants of the world, when you look at like the Paternos and guys like that. The door is starting to creak a little bit if he wins a third national championship. The door's creaking. It's creaking. So I think, and the fact that it's come in such a short order. So it's a testament to it's a testament to not only his ability to recruit and his ability to get the best players in, because even really before NIL, he was already a top notch elite recruiter. But you're seeing it, especially this year, his ability to just sheer flat out coach. This is one of his best coaching jobs in his career as the head coach at the University of Georgia. This is one of, if not his best head coaching job, because he's having to coach these guys up. This ain't necessarily like you recruited, you had a stack class, they're coming in ready to go, and then all you got to do is just guide them. Like, he's literally coaching these guys up. Like, you have a CJ Allen, you have a Gabe Harris, you have all these guys that are like kind of like new and fresh to the game, and you've been coaching them up, and now you're starting to see you're seeing the finished product with your coaching and your teaching and your expertise. And this is really kind of starting. This is like validating him now as like a true coach. I think if he can win this in terms of just all time, when you're looking at the greatest coaches in the history of college football, and you're looking at that first tier, it'll be about time to have some conversations.
Flashman.
Yeah, I don't see why not. And in fact, I think to do it in a conference, I don't even want to call it the SEC, but to do it in that kind of conference, in the era, and don't get me wrong, I was towards the end of the Saban era, but towards the end of the Saban era, and still being able to do it within NIL. Yeah, I think so. I think he's already creeping in that area, even if he doesn't win a national title game this year. I mean, let's say they even lose to Ohio State in the semifinals. Like, I don't think him not. I don't like the conversation. I think he's already creeping in that conversation at point. I mean, we talk about Paterno. Paterno won one national title.
Yeah,
He won 2, I think.
One or two. So like he's already, got a case for being greater than Paterno. Paterno was just, it's also a different era. So
yeah, true.
You had guys like Paterno and Bobby Bowden that were at schools for 2 generations essentially, because that's just how it was back then. And now it's not like that. And now it's if you lose to Tulane, now all of a sudden your job's in jeopardy. It just, which whatever. But I think that's kind of, I think that's a different way of looking at it, or a different argument that we want to have. But I think he's up there. Yeah, absolutely.
I think Kirby Smart is up there, man, especially if he can win a third one, man. When you think about coaches who have won a third national championship, I'm looking it up right now. College football coaches that have won 3 natties. So hold on. Just trying to make sure. Hold on. All right, I'm just trying to search for that. I apologize to the audience.
Coaches. Here, hold on.
Okay, when you think about college football coaches that have won 3 national championships, the list is not that long. It's really not that long.
No, you got Saban.
You have
Saban, Bear Bryant,
Saban, Woody Hayes, Bear Bryant, Frank Laley, Urban Meyer, Barry Switzer, and Newt Rockne. And hold on, Rich McKay, he won 4. Bud Wickerson won 4. And then Walter Camp, he won 4. He won 3 at Yale. And Darrell Royal, he won 4. So some of the greatest coaches of all time won 3 and 4 national championships. So that's putting you in an elite company. And when you talk about legendary coaches like Darrell Royal, who practically invented the wishbone offense, when you talk about Newt Rockne, who put Notre Dame on the map, Barry Switzer, who was the cornerstone of Oklahoma for a long time.
You got Tom Osborne. You got
Tom Osborne. Yeah. When you talk about that type of elite company, and look, I'm just going to be real. It took those guys years. Look, remember, and I don't know if y'all remember this or not. Tom Osborne was the coach that couldn't win the big one for a long time.
Yeah, and then he won, and then he just won a bunch within a 4-year
then he won
span.
a bunch at the same time. Yeah. I mean, I'll never forget when it was that night. I think it was 1999 Florida State Seminoles versus the Nebraska Cornhuskers. That one was built as the coaches that have not won the big one. Him and Bobby Bowden. There was always somebody a little bit bigger and a little bit better than they was. Mainly Miami. So yeah. So and then you think about the era in which Kirby Smart won in. He beat Ohio State. He beat John Harbaugh. He beat Nick in 2 years. He beat John Harbaugh, Nick Saban, and Ryan Day within a span of 2 years.
Yeah.
So, so you beat the greatest of all time. You beat the guy who can be considered on par with you in form of Ryan Day, and you beat a coach that can virtually a culture changer in the form of John Harbaugh. So you
Yeah.
beat those guys. So you beat you the protege beat the master in that game in the national championship, and it wasn't without adversity either because we was getting our asses kicked in that first half. So when you think about that, he definitely deserves to be up there on the all-time greats list. But like I said, when you're doing three natties, and he's only been at Georgia like 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
He's only been at Georgia 10 years. Like I said, usually in 10 years, yeah, 10 years is a long time. Like I stated, it took Bobby Bowden years in order to win. It took Tom Osborne years in order to win. He came in and capitalized and did. And granted, we had a good coach before he got there. Mark Richt was a damn good coach. We
Yeah,
just couldn't win. We
his
just
only
couldn't
knock
win.
was his only knock was he couldn't win a national championship. But I mean, he got the SEC titles. He just couldn't get the national championship.
Didn't get the natty. And yeah, there was a lot of scrutiny behind that. I mean, hell, I remember the first year I'm gonna just be real. That first year I didn't like Kirby Smart. That first year I was pissed off. We went 8-5 his first year.
I knew we weren't going. I knew we were going to be that great that first year. I mean, them players was like that. It was like the last remnants of Mark Richt's teams, and it was just like, I yeah. With a situation like that, when he first got there, you got to give him at least a couple of years. You got to let him get his players in. But boy, once he got his players in,
What's so funny about that? The year before we went 9-3. Kirby Smart's first year at Georgia, I think like I said, I think we went 8-5. We went 8-5 that first year, and I would be sitting there literally screaming at the damn TV. What are you doing? What are you doing? And I was literally, and the thing is, look, I was literally screaming at the TV every single damn week. Like, what the hell are you doing? Because I didn't understand. But then that very next year, we went to the Natty. The very next year, and what's so funny is before we won the Natty, we went to about 3 straight years where we averaged like 12 wins a season. Then we went back to back. So yeah, uh, he's been
Spoiled.
there. He's only
Spoiled.
been. No, he hasn't even been there 10 years. He's only been there 9.
Spoiled.
Yeah. Well,
No,
no,
spoiled.
man. Look,
shit,
I
hell,
look.
we deserve. Well, hell, we've earned the right to be a little sport. We went freaking
Man,
40 years without one.
we went for 40 years without one. That's just like, well, never mind. But that's
I'm just
like,
poking the bears. That's all
yeah,
I'm doing.
that's just
Shit,
like being
hell, I mean,
that's
shell,
just like
I
being
mean,
celibate.
you got,
That's just like
you
being
got to.
celibate for a year. Hell,
Well, I mean, you got to think too, man. We in the state of Georgia. It's not like championships just grow on trees in this state, regardless of sport. So I mean, the fact that any team in this state is consistently winning and being in championship contention year in and year out, we'll take it. Because I mean, we're not even going to talk about the Falcons. The Hawks are doing well this year. I think the Braves are going to come back. I mean, it's just any team in Georgia that has any semblance of success, we'll take it. We will take it.
but yeah, I think Kirby Smart's legacy will be real good, especially if he win another Natty this year.
Oh, here come the
No,
bites.
no,
Here come the bites.
I bet you they would play in the show them titties your .com bowl.
no. Yeah, I bet they would.
I bet they would in a heartbeat just biting it up.
Oh, damn, they asked him about the South Park hat. No, we got this the Home Alone hat this time, guys. Home Alone hat this time. But
Man, Christmas, you filthy animal.
yeah, this the Home Alone hat this time, man. So but oh, look, let's make it let's take it back from the south. Let's take it from the south to the north at this point, man, guys. Look, it's Kurt
Francis,
Signetti. It's Kurt Signetti, the new Dabo Sweeney.
He's got to win. He's got to win one. He's got to get one. At least Dabo got a couple. Kurt Signetti's got to get one. He's got to get one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give him Dabo Sweeney. I'm not gonna give him like the new Dabo Sweeney as far as like coming in from another conference and being able to kind of put a stamp in with like a team that hasn't necessarily had a bunch of success and then just coming and planting your flag and like having success. He's got to at least get to the national title game. He's got to win one to really validate a claim like that.
All right.
Kansas City stinks.
Hey,
Sorry, I don't completely off topic.
Oh, you mean the Kansas City is not Kansas City Chiefs anymore. They're not called the Wash.
Oh.
They're not called the Wash.
Yeah.
They are called the Wash.
They are bad.
Yeah. Anywho, do I think he's the
Well, I love these guys, man. They are funny as hell, bro. That's a good question, bro. I mean, well, are you?
I'm not gonna answer that motherfucking question for everybody to know.
Answer the important question, young man. I'm sorry, but I love these guys. They match, dude. They are my energy. I love it.
He went from in character BRF to real. You know what? To RN BRF.
I'm not finna answer that question for these folks to know. They don't need to know that. That's no. Only one person gonna get the answer to that one, and she's not around right now.
That is some funny stuff right there. That is. But Flash, go ahead, bro. Yo, go skill.
Here's what I think. I don't know if he has to win one, but I think he has to. This has to be sustained success. That's my thing. Is this a flash in the pan, which I think it is, or is this something more?
What the fuck? It's these questions,
answer
bro.
the question.
Hell no, I ain't answering that damn question. They don't need to know that.
Don't be asking Southern men about their feet, bro. We sensitive about them damn feet.
Please, God, thank you.
Hey man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I go to sleep with my feet covered up, man. I'll be scared somebody gonna break in my house and start messing with feet, bro.
Did you hear? Wait, there was like a fucking tickle burglar from years ago. That was
and I'd have knocked his ass in the head with a shovel.
Fucking dude, can you imagine some dude just breaking into your house at the edge of your bed? He's just sitting there tickling your feet, whatever.
I'm telling you, he's eating some form of inanimate object. He's taking something to the back of the head.
Creepy as fuck, but at the same time, I laughed my ass off when I saw that.
Lord have mercy. Really? Damn. Read that.
Well, I mean, his name is Diddy. Come on.
Yeah, I mean the Diddy.
Hey, I gotta finish that documentary too. I started that documentary, boy.
I just want to say one thing. I just want to say I strive to be as petty as 50 Cent. Dude,
wow, there's out on. I'm sorry, champ. I'm sorry, Flash. There's actually somebody named BRL Sports Lover in the chat. I have made it. I have made it in my life. I've made it in life.
Your own tickle stalker.
That was saying. I've made it in life. I've made it in life.
You have
good God.
I am. Champ doesn't have one.
I am. Shit, I don't know what I do to earn one, but just whatever. Salute. Okay.
So no, I strive to be as petty as him, dude. I enjoy watching. He is not only is he petty, he's creatively petty. Like he is fantastic about being petty. Like it makes you. Not only is it. Like when he bought out the first, I don't know how many rows at the Ja Rule Fest. Like, I'm sorry, but that dude is like next level like he agreed to the interview with ABC News because that's one of the few news stations that actually
But the
broadcast.
prisons will let him watch.
Bro,
How ironic that P. Diddy is at Fort Dix, but I digress.
dude.
We gotta pull it back on the rails. We gotta put it back on the rails, bro. Oh god.
What's so funny about that is I was stationed at Fort Dix.
They
Yeah, there's a lot of it there too. But you know, I never forget. There's this. Never mind. But we had this.
you're gonna go down this hole, and I don't mean in a good way. And it's just you're just gonna you're gonna keep piling it all on.
Yeah, we need to stay. We need to stay in the front door, not the back door. No pun
We gotta
intended.
stay. We gotta stay the course.
You got to stay the course. But
No, back to the sports. No, I just want to see some sustained success from Indiana. As a Wisconsin guy, I was kind of hoping the Badgers would be the quote unquote Big Ten team, or the next team that would kind of step up and be that possible next level that would possibly challenge Ohio State and Michigan. And obviously this year that is not the case at all. So if it's Indiana, that's fine. I'm not, I just want to see. Give me a couple years where you finish in the top 5 at least, and you're beating Ohio State in conference title games. Give me some.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So let's see. I want to see it. Let's see. I'm all for it because then it kind of shows that this can happen. And if it's sustained, it's not just a one-off, and then I would love to see it. Then I think to Jake's point back that I think it goes more towards BRF's argument that maybe that the G5 schools could actually do something at some point. So then I think if Indiana I think it's better for college football and the new system if Indiana has sustained success.
Agree.
For a decent amount of time. Then it goes towards BRF's argument where he's right, where you don't ban the G5 schools and they actually have a chance at some point. I think that's what I want. That's what I want to see. That would be my overall. What is
excellence?
I think that's the big thing. I think that goes back to where we want the parity in college football. I think Indiana is the first, even though Indiana is a Big Ten school. Indiana's the first step in terms of more lesser known schools being able to develop and build and sustain like relevancy as far as like being able to win. But like I said, Indiana's the first step. They gotta like whether it's a semifinal appearance or a finals appearance, they have to do something.
But I need it for a couple of years in a row. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Right? It's not just this year. It's got to be like even if they lose to Oregon or Texas Tech or whoever, or if they lose to Alabama or Oklahoma, I'm not upset about it. But like, let's say they're back in the same situation next year. That's good. That's great. I'm not expecting Indiana to win a national title this year, even though they're the number 1 team in the country. Although the way they played Ohio State, golly gee willikers, like I did not expect that. But I'm more, let's see this every single year now, or at least for a while. Then that's cool.
Okay, I agree. He's only lost 3 games his first 2 years.
Yeah,
he's only lost 3 games his first 2 years. That is excellent. That's freaking amazing. Moving forward, man. Let's quick question, real quick. Can Georgia, Oklahoma, Alabama, Ole Miss bring it back to the South? Can one of those teams bring it back to the South?
I'm now this is where I'm gonna let my bias come back into play. As good as Ohio State's been all year, and with Indiana the way they've been playing, I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually kind of expecting it this year. I'm expecting it. I think one of the SEC. Like if you had to put me on the spot, I do think an SEC school is going to win the national championship this year.
Okay, I think so as well. I would love it to be Georgia, but if Oklahoma, Yeah.
You don't say.
I would love for it to be. Hey, man, look, I bleed ready back. I'm gonna tell you something, man. When I used to go to different bases, bro, I used to arrive when they said, "Hey, man, you could come in your civvies, your civilian clothes." I used to come in there red and blacked out. So dead ass serious.
No,
I used to have my.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the one got my face as the profile picture. I'm dead. I'm dead.
Lord have
I'm
mercy.
dead. I'm so done. I'm done. I am done. Boy, I told you. We here now, folks. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. We
Shout out
have.
to my guy. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Wise. By the way, man. Wise man, very very brilliant brother down here in Columbus, Georgia, man. Shout out to Mr. Wise, man. Keep doing your thing, brother. I see what you're doing, and this is a good one. Flash's side piece. That is amazing.
It's the
Damn.
mustache, isn't it?
That's amazing. Lord have mercy. That's
That's a conversation for another day.
Wolf. There it is. Wolf, wolf.
Hey, I don't
But,
flash for free. I ain't
but,
that easy.
but hey man, it depends on who asking. You know, I'm just being real. You know, if you know, but anyway, but I really think that I'm really hoping that Georgia brings that back for us, man. Brings that back. So,
I cheat on everybody.
but yeah, damn.
Who?
Kidding,
Later.
honey.
Later.
That's a joke. If my girlfriend's watching, that's a joke. I'm just bantering back and forth with the dudes in the chat.
Yeah.
Um,
You know,
no,
I mean, you know, they may not be dudes. We might be have a bunch of Caitlyn Jenners in the chat. You never know. But
that's a dude.
oh, okay. You never know. You never know. but
No, I'm never mind. We're not. Let's not go down
yeah,
that
let's
route.
not go. but
Mm-mm.
yeah, we ain't trying to get kicked off the air.
Mm-mm.
But
No,
so,
so when it comes to the SEC, I honestly right now and the way Indiana Ohio State played, I mean, is it a possibility? Sure, but I really think it's. See, I don't count Oklahoma and Texas A&M as SEC. I can't. I think that's cheating. I think that's cheating to say like, oh, we're bringing that those teams are going to bring it back to the
Yeah.
top. I think
Yeah.
that's fair.
cheating.
That's fair.
Yeah, because the original SEC, yeah, because it's Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss are like the actual original
Yes.
SEC 12.
Yes. If you want to argue that, that's fine. But if you're going to start throwing in Oklahoma, it's like, I can't. No. I can't say that. But I
Oklahoma's not
honestly,
even Oklahoma anymore, man. I'm not used to seeing defensive Oklahoma. I'm
no,
not gonna lie. I'm
weird.
not used to seeing that, bro. It's like it's
Oh,
weird to see it.
wait. Now, I'll say this, though. Early Bob Stoops, he had some really good defensive teams because, I mean, he had Roy Williams come through there as a safety, among other players. Early Oklahoma produced some really good defensive players.
I'm talking about the last like 5 to 6 years. That's been
Yeah,
aired,
true.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's been aired. That's been them going out there airing it out like a ceiling fan. You know what I mean? So that's the whole thing about that. So I'm just being real at this honest. But yeah, that is fair. But that is fair. But I'm just being real, you know.
It's
Normally
a shirt. It's not a jumpsuit.
moving on.
The jumpsuit.
It's a t-shirt. It's not a jumpsuit. Man, cut that out. Cut that out.
Yeah, Mr. Wise,
I'm sorry. No, unfortunately, I can't get used to that D. And unfortunately, Flash Lover, you're kind of telling everybody right now. So yeah, I can't get used to the D. I'm
to
sorry.
Mr. Wise's point.
Even though the mustache, gives off a certain, aura, I can't get used to the D. But CJ, they're not SEC though. Like this is the argument that I've been saying for.
They're not the original SEC.
No, it's not even. It really is. It really the SEC anymore, or is it just because?
Well, we'll call it the Southern Money Conference.
Yes, like it's not like the Big Ten isn't the Big Ten anymore either. Like that's the thing. So it's not me like having.
Yeah, USC does not belong in the Big Ten. Oregon does not belong in the Big Ten. Um,
No,
yeah, a lot
like
of those guys.
this is where this goes to my point of like like if Oregon came like, oh man, we're bringing it back to the Big Ten. Like, no, you're not. Like that's not a thing. I just this is why I'm just I want to get rid of at least call them something different. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. If you want to call them
The Southern
whatever.
12.
Something. I don't know. But
Or you can know Southern Justice, like we call the show Southern Justice, but
something. I don't know. Anything.
it's not the original ones. But like I stated, as long as you're like I
How do
said,
you know she's blonde?
so,
That's a little weird.
But yeah, I think that I don't know, but I really believe that as long as the Southern team wins it, I believe it'll be cool. But that's just me being biased. But overall, I want number 3 just so I can gloat a little bit down here in my hometown. But to his point, Mr. Wise, Jay, the only reason he said they're not the SEC because they're not the original SEC. It's kind of like let me get a good example. It's kind of like the Four Horsemen. You know, you remember you had the original Four Horsemen with Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, and then you had J.J. Dillon and what's the other guy's name? Tully Blanchard and Ric Flair. Then you have all these spinoffs of the Four Horsemen. Then you had Lex Luger in there one year. Then you had Sid Vicious in there one year. Then you had Paul Roman in there one year. Then you had what's the other guy's name? Kurt Hennigan was in there for a short period of time. Yeah, so that's what I believe. That's what if I'm correct in my assessment, I think that's what you mean when you say they're not the real SEC. They're not the original guys. Like kind of like, outside of I would say Barry Windham with the second iteration of them, they're not the Four Horsemen. It was just a whole bunch of other guys that you just add to the group at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like that last iteration of the Four Horsemen was kind of weird. It was I'm sorry, but the last generation of the last iteration of the Four Horsemen was kind of weird because you had you had I can't even damn talk. You did because you had what shit you had. You had. I'm just being.
You gonna get it out eventually. You gonna get it out eventually. Oh man.
You had. Well, you had. No, you had. Now Steve McMichael.
It was Benoit. Let's see, like it was Benoit,
Malenko.
Benoit, Malenko, and God rest his soul, Steve McMichael. So yeah, yeah. So that last iteration of the Four Horsemen is crazy. So the last iteration because
it was
just
Flair,
like
Benoit, Malenko, and Mongo McMichael.
Yeah, Mongo McMichael, that one was pretty cool. But seeing Dean
And
Malenko,
Arn Anderson was acting manager.
Yeah, he took the place of J.J. Dillon. So, but yeah, that last iteration was kind of weird because Dean Malenko, he looked so out of place in that damn group because we all knew he wasn't a mega star like the other guys was. It was just like, but I digress. Let's move on to the NFL, bro. Who are the biggest frauds in the NFL? I'm going first. The Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens are the biggest frauds in the NFL. You have a very winnable chance in order to get this win done. You're already behind the 8 ball, and you go out there and lay an egg like that. You got to ask yourself this: is that Super Bowl window closing, or has it closed with this group of players that you have?
I think it's closed.
Yeah, I mean, is it closing? And you got to ask yourself this too, because guess what? I'll relieve Raheem Morris. He's out of Atlanta next year. I've been clamoring for Todd Monken. So, I mean,
but
he might just Clan, just kind of put something out there tonight. The Falcons brass are supposed to be having some serious conversations tonight. Don't be surprised if he's going tonight. Keep
Yeah,
an eye out on that. Don't be
dude,
surprised if he's going tonight.
dude, I'm, dude. What is wrong in Atlanta? Dude, they went from the hottest
sugar
team
to shit.
in the league to and possibly ascending to a deep playoff run type team to they're looking at a top 3 pick,
And we don't
Which
even
they won't
have
be,
it.
which they won't have.
which they won't have.
Was the Los
So,
Angeles Rams has it. So it was just pure coaching at this point.
of course,
It's
the
just
Rams
pure
don't
coaching.
have it.
It's pure coaching. So it's Raheem Morris, Zach Robinson doesn't know how to use Bijan. Doesn't you just now? I mean, he just now started giving Bijan the ball 20 times a game.
Yeah, but okay. Bijan was the hottest thing in the first 6 games of the season, and he just forgot how to give him the football.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
pretty much.
I think it honestly. I think it's more the lack of the quarterback development. I think that's the problem. Because
Well,
I think splitting carries or at least giving Algier or whatever his last Alger or whatever giving him carries isn't a bad thing. I think the lack of quarterback development and the lack of the I should even say the lack of a development of the passing game in general, regardless who's at quarterback, is a big problem. Because like you can think all you want about Kirk Cousins, but at least he could, play quarterback. And it seems like no matter who they have in there at quarterback, it's just not an effective passing game at all.
mm-hmm.
So I think that man, yeah, I think that I'm not a big like move on from coaches in the middle of the season, but at this point, when you get your ass whipped like that, you might as well. The only thing I don't like about it is all of a sudden you get the intern coach and you play a little bit okay for that intern coach, and then that guy gets hired as the new coach next year, and that's
That
why I
won't
don't like
happen.
it. That's why I don't
That
like it.
I feel what you're saying, but I tell you right now, that ain't happening because I think after this season, I would like to see Ulbrich stay. I would like to see him and Nate Ollie stay as far as the defensive side of the ball, but I don't see that they play good for whoever the interim is, and then they bring him on as head coach. I think they're going full on. I think they're going full on quarterback. I mean, coaching hunt, and they're going to bring somebody in, and and like the fans and all of the everybody down here got their names as far as who they want to see. So yeah, I don't see it. I don't see if Raheem Morris gets fired tonight, whoever's the interim. I see no chance of them keeping the interim as the full on head coach. I think they go full on coach search in the offseason. But yeah, I mean, here's my thing as far as like biggest frauds. That Baltimore Pittsburgh game to me was a fraud bowl because I don't trust either one of them because everybody's giving Baltimore this hard time because they lost this game. Let's remember Pittsburgh lost their way back into the fact of Baltimore being able to contend for the AFC North in the first place. So they're not exempt from this either. I think as now, yeah, I have to go with Atlanta. I mean, they are the biggest disappointment in terms of the hype machine, like the hype they came in with to now being 4-9. They're lucky. They're lucky that Jalen Walker and James Pierce are every bit the players we thought they were going to be. Because if it wasn't for that, I mean, and the thing is, people are ragging on them for trading that first round pick anyway. But I will say this. I think James Pierce is probably better than a lot of people who possibly could have been there for them next year. I think James Pierce is better, and he's basically making a late run at Defensive Rookie of the Year. So shout out to him. But yeah, with that being said, if you I guess if you want to look at from the fraud perspective, I guess I guess it's got to be honestly, it's for me. It's Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Atlanta because I don't trust Pittsburgh. Yeah, they got the win today, but I don't trust them. But I mean, Atlanta just from the standpoint of what you came in the season with, and then that win on Monday, and then that win on Monday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills, where it was just basically like a culmination of like everything. Your defense playing well, you made Josh Allen look pedestrian, and you beat him by 10, and the game wasn't even that close. And then to follow that with losing 7 of your next 8, it's just yeah. Like that's why I said, champ. Don't be surprised if Raheem Morris gets fired tonight, and then they just start this whole process all over again as far as finding the next head coach. Because I mean, it's unfortunate, but I mean sometimes it's one of those things where it's kind of like it is what it is. And then on top of that, you won't get Michael Penix back until probably at the earliest November. Because even though it wasn't like a bad, even though it was more of like an ACL sprain, they had to go in and do full reconstruction on the knee anyway. So yeah, it's just we are a cursed franchise right now. It's like I said, I don't dwell on Super Bowl 51 anymore, but it's almost like ever since that and then the Julio drop in the divisional game in 2017, it's just been like downhill for the franchise to the point where people are saying Arthur Blank should sell the team. That's how bad it's gotten.
Well,
They're
I
saying
mean,
Arthur Blank.
that's
No, he should not. He should not. He should absolutely. I don't think he should absolutely not sell the team. He needs to fire Rich McKay. Is what he needs to do.
Flash.
I mean, I look. What did I predict earlier at the beginning of the year? I said Baltimore wouldn't win the division. I thought it was going to be Cincinnati or Pittsburgh, and it's not going to be Cincinnati. Cincinnati lost to Buffalo today, unfortunately, even though Burrow played a hell of a game, except for 2 random, really bad turnovers towards the end of the game that completely turned the game around, and a Josh Allen magnificent second half by Josh Allen. So it's not going to be Cincinnati and at all. So it looks like it's going to be Pittsburgh, but you know,
I don't trust him either.
I don't trust them either. But I will say I'm against getting rid of uh fucking, oh my god, I can't think of his name off the top of my Omar Epps as the head coach. I can't we can't get rid of Mike.
That was good. That was good. That was good. That was good.
That's been a meme for years.
That was good.
Mike Tomlin. Can't get rid of Mike Tomlin as head coach. I still think he's one of the better head coaches in the league. When everybody thought everybody's been trying to call for his firing for years. That team came out and played for him. Like whatever you think of Baltimore is fine. I think Baltimore as a whole. I don't think the Harbaugh era is done, but I think you need to retool around. I think Derrick Henry needs to go. I think the defensive coordinator needs to go. I think you need to retool that team in general. They still have enough talent on the offensive side of the ball where they can bounce back next year. I mean, just go and get. Look, I love Derrick Henry. He's going to go down as one of the best running backs of all time. But I think it's time to move on. You draft somebody young in the upcoming draft. I mean, and I don't mean to sound like this, like running backs are, but you can get a running back, like a really good running back in the 3rd or 4th round. Now it's been like that for years. So I just think they need a retooling. Are they a fraud? No, because their defense has been terrible all year, and Lamar Jackson has been hurt all year. So I don't think they're a fraud. I think they are just what they are. I think, I was watching the post-game show on Fox, and they were talking about Kansas City on how they're just tired. They look like it because Kansas City has literally played an extra season because of all the success they've had. I think it's just a tired franchise. I think it's a tired football team that needs some new blood, some new energy. And I think both Kansas City and Baltimore are kind of in the same boat right now. I mean, I know Baltimore hasn't won a Super Bowl, but I think this current iteration of this team right now is that window is closed. And I think maybe the Lamar Jackson window when it comes to winning a Super Bowl may have closed, but you never know. But I don't. The funny thing is, though, as much as I think New England and Denver are playing really well, I think this AFC is very much wide open this year. I think Pittsburgh could beat either of those teams. As much as I don't trust Pittsburgh, I don't think New England and Denver are that far. They're playing way better right now. New England is probably playing some of the best football in the league right now. But just in the AFC in general, like if you had a playoff game between Pittsburgh and New England right now, I mean, obviously me a New England guy, but if Pittsburgh won, would I be shocked? No, I think it's a very wide open AFC, which is that's I think that's kind of cool. So I don't think it's a fraud. I just think we are in a weird, odd year where there's no clear cut favorite this year. There's no Kansas City. There's no Tom Brady led New England Patriot in AFC or in the AFC currently right now. It's a wide open. I mean, would anybody be shocked right now if the Houston Texans essentially went and won? And they beat New England. No, they have a great pass rush. They have enough on offense. It seems like. I mean, even looking at Kansas City right now, I know we were talking about how much they suck right now, but if they win this game, then I think it's like a 61% chance that they still can squeak into the playoffs. I don't want to say it, but this is a really weird. It's a weird down year for the AFC right now, and I think I think fraud is a little strong. I just think we're in a weird year.
Woo! Which brings me to my next question. Can you see Josh Allen, since the AFC is wide open, finally getting to his first Super Bowl?
If he's going to do it, this will be the year to do it. If he's going to do it, this is the year to do it. I mean, it's practically laid out for him to do it. I mean, granted, you got teams because what it is you have teams like New England and Denver who are playing really, really well. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, the regular season and the postseason are still two completely different animals. And we've seen what Josh Allen is capable of in the playoffs. So it's one of those things where it's like he could get, even though they both have better records in Buffalo, he could snipe both of them out the playoffs. Just because of how good he is and what he's capable of in the playoff, he could snipe both of them off. So if Josh Allen is going to do it, if there was ever a year for Josh Allen to get to the Super Bowl, this is the year. Because it's kind of like what we were talking about with Lamar. If it falls under Josh Allen, I'm not going to give him that pass. If you don't do it this year, when are you going to do it? It's kind of where it falls for me.
I feel like we say this. We've said this every year when either it's Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. Well, this is a year. This is a year they got to do it. I don't know, man.
They have to, because right now the reason why I say that, and I don't know if you agree with me or not, BRF, you can back me up on this if you would like. The reason why they say that is the man that normally stops you is not there right about. At least for right now, he's not there anymore. It's kind of like Tyson. It's kind of like, and I do stress right now. Right, we don't know what's going to happen in this game.
Yeah, so let's let this game play out right now, because I don't trust Houston either.
So it's kind of like you trying to be the heavyweight champion, and Mike Tyson is not standing in your damn way anymore. It's like, all right, if I'm going to win this world heavyweight title, and ironically, if you noticed, the minute that Tyson went out and went to jail, the damn heavyweight title was being passed around like a volleyball. If you really want me to be honest with you.
It was until he got back.
They had about 3 or 4 world champions when he got red. Holyfield won. Then Ray Mercer won. Then Riddick Bowe won. Then Ollie McCall won. Frank Bruno won. It was like he said it best. He said, "Man, I went to jail, man. That world heavyweight champion getting passed around like a volleyball." It was Michael Moore. He won. Yeah. So you don't have
pretty much playing hot potato.
Yeah, you don't have the Mike Tyson of the NFL and the mighty Kansas City Chiefs, at least for right now. I stress, for right now, standing in your way, looking to land that knockout punch and break your heart again. So if there was ever a time where you have to knuckle down and say, hey, these guys that is coming into this playoffs, because if you really look at it, a lot of these guys that are in the playoffs, that are going to be in the playoffs, they don't have a lot of playoff experience.
Yeah, exactly.
When you look at New England, They don't have a lot of playoff experience. When you look at Indianapolis, if they make it, they don't have a lot of playoff experience.
But it's weird. There's not a team in the AFC right now that I really trust. I don't trust Buffalo either. Buffalo came real close to getting their ass whipped today. No, it was a completely different second half. But
I mean, they won, but they kind of did get their ass whooped. They gave up 34 points.
Yeah, it was a real weird game. I watched that
Joe
game.
Burrow, though.
What?
It is Joe Burrow, though. We got to think about that.
No, I know it is, and I think the only reason that Buffalo lost is because Joe Burrow made 2 non-Joe Burrow-y mistakes. It was real weird.
Yeah.
And I'm not even trying to take away anything from Josh Allen either. Josh Allen played fucking fantastic in that second half. I don't trust any AFC team right now. I don't trust Denver. I don't think they're good enough at the quarterback position. People are starting to question New England's schedule, which I'm not quite there yet about questioning the schedule, but I obviously we don't trust Kansas City right now. We don't trust Houston. Unfortunately, Danny Dimes went down with a major injury and he's done for the year. So it looks like Indianapolis is going to be toast for the rest of the year, which is really sad.
Oh, it's ugly out there.
Yeah,
it's so bad out there. Bro, it's so bad out there that their second string. You know who is listed as their second string quarterback at this point?
Who?
Tyler Warren.
That's how bad they don't trust Anthony Richardson's ass.
Well, no, he's on IR.
Oh, he's on
IR. He's on
IR.
I forgot he's blind. My bad. He's blind.
Yeah, he's got an orbital bone injury.
God, I'm sorry. I wear glasses too. So,
Indy's out. I definitely don't trust Jacksonville. Like I like their defense. They got a good running game, but like I don't trust Trevor Lawrence. Damn sure don't trust San Diego. As much as I like Justin Herbert, like I've said it for a while. Everybody loves him, but I think he's just a stats guy right now. Show me something different. I just don't. I don't really like any AFC team right now. In general, if you're going to pick an AFC team right now, who do you really trust out of everybody?
Just Buffalo, to be honest with you.
If Kansas City does not make the playoffs, I look at the experience of Josh Allen and that's what I roll with. But at the same time, a team like the New England Patriots, yeah, they might not have playoff experience, but boy, youthful exuberance can be a muzzle. And sometimes you get in those situations where it's just like, you know what, I don't care. Okay, it's the playoffs. So what? We're supposed to be here. I don't care.
It's that it's like they're so ignorant they don't know how big the moment is. It's like that 01
exactly.
It's that 01 Patriot team vibe where it's just like, well, I mean, we're not supposed to be here anyway, so fuck it. And so
what we got to lose? We got nothing to lose. We ain't supposed to be here. We might as well just ride out.
So that's true too. So and then that's kind of my point is like, I look at this like this AFC and I go, like, I don't really, Buffalo just lost to Miami a couple weeks ago.
Bad.
So I don't trust them either. If you're a good football team, you don't get your ass whipped by Miami. Now, me saying that as a Patriots fan and the struggles that Brady and Belichick had with the Dolphins, like, fine. But, still, I don't know. I don't trust any team. Like, it's real weird. Even in the NFC, I look at them and I mean, right now, to me, the team that I trust the most right now is probably the Rams. Whatever's going on in Philly, whatever drama, whether you can believe it or not, or you want to think it's a fact or not, I don't really trust them right now. Their offense gets real shaky at times. I don't trust the Bears. Now, to be fair, I think Caleb Williams played the best he's ever played today, even though the stats don't bear that out. I think he played actually very exceptional, and I thought he wasn't just he wasn't a toddler for 3.5 quarters and then made some plays in the fourth. I thought he was making plays all game. I mean, his escapability has always been a thing, but there were times he also stood in the pocket and made reads, which is something that he's struggled to do. So I think he's making progression there. But overall, I don't trust Chicago because their offense is still not there. They have a great run. I think their running game's really, really good. I think their defense is actually very underrated, but I don't trust Caleb Williams yet. The Packers, they have the most upside out of any NFL playoff contender right now. They have the most upside to, like, their peak, I think, is higher than most, except for maybe the Rams. I'd say Green Bay's peak is probably the best in the NFL because of the defense. The only thing they're lacking is a secondary.
Mm-hmm.
But I think their peak. I'm not saying that they're.
I hear what you're saying. Peak wise, I would still go Philly.
Okay. Yeah.
Peak nah.
Okay. That's fair.
Peak wise is still Philly, but
Okay.
Green Bay peak wise is Philly. But I will say this though, Green Bay, it is, and it's mainly if they can get their wide receivers back and they can all stay healthy, and that's Jaden Reed. They got Jaden Reed back. If you get him back. If you get him back and you can keep Christian Watson upright and you can keep Matthew Golden upright, you saw Josh Jacobs today. You know what Josh Jacobs is capable of doing. He's getting right. So you know what he's capable of, and that defense is. I mean, Micah Parsons. I said what Micah Parsons was going to do for that defense when he starts playing well. It's going to open everything up. And he was going to make playing on the defense a lot easier. And I know they've had their moments, but when that defense is good, it's because a guy like Michael Parsons is making everybody else's job that much easier.
That pass.
Exactly.
This is why I think their peak. I just don't trust them overall. As I don't trust them to play at that high. But if they get on a roll, I don't think there's a team in the NFC that can really.
There's not a team they can't beat. There's not a team they can't beat if they get rolling.
They can't beat, and I think they could go into LA and beat the Rams if they're playing at their peak. I think Green Bay could smoke them. I think it'd be that bad if Green Bay's playing at peak. I think the Rams have been the most consistent team all year. I think Matthew Stafford is I think right now the MVP is literally Matthew Stafford and Drake May.
Okay.
I don't think there's anybody else in the league right now. I think those are the two front runners. I think it literally is who gets the one seed in their conference and who's playing the hottest at the end of the year. I think they'll probably give it to Stafford just because of his age and he kind of deserves one at this point. Has he ever won? He hasn't even won one, hasn't he?
No, he hasn't.
Nope, he hasn't.
I think it'll go to Stafford as a
lifetime achievement award.
Yeah, not an earned one. Not like here's it's not a participation trophy. It's a dude. This is a nod of the cap.
It's one of those. It's about damn time you get one of these.
Yes, it's an overdue one. So I think unless the Rams falter in the last quarter of the season, then I think it's going to be Stafford. But I think Drake May is right up there. Tampa Bay shit the bed today, so I think the whole Baker Mayfield MVP conversation that's been gone for a couple of weeks now. I think.
Yes.
So
Carolina is in first place in that division, bro.
No, it's still Tampa by a half a game.
It's okay. It's Tampa by a half a game, but still, it's like.
But still, we're still. I mean, it's crazy to say that even though Atlanta lost, technically they're still not out of the division race. That's.
No, they got eliminated today. Today.
Did they?
Yes, we did.
They lost. The loss knocked them out.
Okay.
The loss knocked. It was I think it was like a loss or once you get into that loss or it's like they got eliminated.
I thought the Tampa Bay loss kept them in it, but okay.
It would have had they won.
Okay. But I look at the other team that we're really not talking about, and overall we haven't talked about all year. But dude, Seattle's great.
Yeah, they are, bro.
Yeah, but the division is so low. But the thing is, the reason why we're not talking about Seattle is they're in the same division as the Rams. It's kind of hard to talk about you when you're not the best team in your division, not to mention the 49ers are right up on their heels. So,
Yeah.
and
I think
yeah,
Seattle got. I think, but I'll say this though. I think Seattle's got. I think Seattle's got the best defense of the three.
do they though?
Yes, yes. Seattle's. I mean, I think they do. I mean, granted, the Rams play good defense, and the Niners they play good defense. I think the Seattle Seahawks defense. If we're talking upside, oh my gosh, I love the Seattle Seahawks defense, bro. Their defense is all that, bro. I think they have the best. I personally think they have the best defense of the three.
Okay. Anything you want to add to that, Flash Man?
I'm having trouble looking up defensive stats right now. No.
Yeah, like
Um,
yeah, I don't know whether I don't know whether rank. Yeah, I think he's probably pulling up rankings. I don't know where they're ranked at right now.
While we at it, I just want to add this, man. We have just reached a new milestone, over 204 followers. Keep liking and subscribing. We love entertaining you guys. We want to thank you, the fans, and everybody that's paying attention. Couldn't make it without you. Let's stay on the road to 1,000, and let's keep this thing rolling, man. We love entertaining y'all, making y'all laugh, and hey, man, we love doing this thing. This is what we do, and you know what I love about? I would just be real, man, for a second. While Flash looks up the stats. What's so funny about this is uh somebody actually texted me on TikTok, right? And a story came out and they asked, "Hey, why are you not covering this?" I said, "I'm going to cover it when the minute I get off work." He said, "You got a job?" I said, "Yes, I work a regular job. I'm not a full time content creator." That's what I love about us. We are actually the everyday men. We work regular jobs. We're not full time content creators. So that's the beauty of it. We still have time to come in there, do our research, and be sports fanatics like we are. But yeah, I'm not a full time content creator. I work a regular job. I am just like
Yeah,
every last one of these guys. So
this
you
is love. This is for the love of the game type stuff right here. What we do.
this is for the love of the game. But yeah, I really think look, another quick question real quick. How much of a cherry on top in his career if Matthew Stafford is to win another? Is that another cherry on top of his career? Is he already on his way to Canton at this point?
I think the MVP solidifies. I think the MVP solidifies Canton for Matthew Stafford. But if he wins another championship, then we start having conversations about his all time ranking.
Okay.
I think he's already a Hall of Famer. I just think I think the MVP makes it. I think you're right. It solidifies it. Like there's no debate. Again, like I always look at my barometer of the Hall of Fame conversation is if you say the person's name and you hesitate, then I don't think you're a Hall of Famer. I think if you win an MVP, and I think if he wins the MVP, there is no like hesitation. It's an immediate yes. So I think if he wins a second Super Bowl and an MVP this year,
We're
does
talking rarefied air.
does he creep into the top 10 basically?
No.
That's
I
where
don't. I don't think 10, but I'll say top 15.
I'd
I
have
think. I
yeah.
think he's in that 12 to 15 range if he gets another. If he wins the MVP and another championship, and let's say he puts a Super Bowl MVP on top of that, we're talking 12 to 15 with him.
Yeah, I that's fine by me. I mean, to crack that top 10 right now is pretty tough. Like
It
you
is.
gotta, I mean, between like all the old guards, like Montana,
One.
Marino, Favre,
Elway.
and everybody, and then like the new crops.
What's so funny?
Yeah, because you're looking at like let's see Brady, Manning, Montana, Marino, Rogers, Breeze,
Elway.
Elway,
Elway. I think four. I'll put Favre top 10. Um, Unitas. Um,
Otto Graham.
Yeah, Otto
mm,
Graham,
he's in the yeah. Autograms in the conversation.
Roger Staubach. You got
Yes.
Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahomes is already in the Mahomes is already in the top 10 conversation.
It's
Like
hard
to
to.
crack that top 10. Like would you like right now? I'd have to reevaluate right now to see where he would be at. Like would you put him over if he wins another Super Bowl and an MVP and a Super Bowl MVP? Would you put him over Favre now?
Not necessarily, because I'm gonna just be real. People might
That's a
give Favre.
conversation, though.
You might look. We talk shit about Favre about what he did out there in Mississippi, but I'm gonna just be real. From from 95 to 98, well, from 96 to 98, there was no question about who was the best in the league. There was no question. It was
Yeah,
Favre.
even
Yeah,
95 to 98. Yeah,
95 to 98, there was no question. There's never been a time, and it's not his fault, by the way, because of the era that he played in.
that
But
he was
at
ever
one
considered the
point,
best in the league.
there
he
was
was never
never
considered
a
the best
point.
in the league.
Yeah, he was not just the quarterback
That's a
in the
fair
league,
point.
but I'm just going to point at and say, hey, I got to have him. Now, granted, it was because he played, in the NFC North. He wasn't winning a lot, number one. Not to mention, he was playing in the shadow of Brett Favre in the first part of his career. Then in the second half of his career, he had to compete with Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah, from 95 to like 98, Favre, those years, although he didn't win a Super Bowl in all three of those years, in all of those years, he had stiff competition. You had Troy, you had Steve Young, and you had what's the other guy? Then you had a litany of quarterbacks in that era. You had a litany of quarterbacks in that era. So from 95 to 98, those years belong to Favre. I can't give you that nod unless you had a peak like that. Unless you had
Yeah,
a peak to say I was the absolute best and no one stood a damn chance against me. And regardless of me not winning Super Bowls, I was able to be considered one of the best in the league. And I was cerebral and I was unorthodox and I was the darling of the media and I was damn near the face of the league.
Oh,
I
I don't
can't
think
be
it was. No,
considered
he
that.
was the face of the league.
he was
Yeah.
the face of the league.
He was the face of the league. There was a crop of time in the mid to late 90s. He was the face of the league.
Yeah, him, Troy, and Steve Young. Yeah.
And I'd even argue. Yeah,
I wouldn't even say Favre, Troy, and Steve. I would
no,
say he was.
I think he was. Yeah,
He was by
was.
himself.
He was the face of the league until Brady and Manning took that from him.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And even then, he was an absolute legend. He was an
Yeah.
absolute legend because when '04 hit, I never forget '04 hit. '04 hit, and I'll never forget he had that real bad season.
Yeah, it was Mike Sherman's last year. It was there's a rough patch in there with Sherman and Ray Rhodes, like the end of the Sherman
Whatever
era.
happened to Mike Sherman? Like,
I think he went back into college football for a hot minute.
and then he started. I know he started coaching high school eventually, but Mike Sherman wasn't that bad of a coach.
No, but let's see.
I know people get on to him about that little scuffle that he had with Warren Moon.
No,
Not
not
Warren
Warren
Moon.
Moon.
Warren Moon. Warren Sapp. Warren
Warren
Sapp,
Sapp.
because he wanted to beat Warren Sapp wanted to beat the hell out of him, but about that
No,
block.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna fuck Warren Sapp for that. Bravo, Mike Sherman for standing up for Chad Clifton, because that was one of the one of the biggest fucking cheap shots I have ever seen in my fucking life. I will never ever respect Warren Sapp after that. That was one of the most disgusting cheap shots ever. And I'm old school, and that's a cheap shot. That was disgusting. You almost ended a dude's career because you decide you wanted to get a good cheap shot on somebody. Yeah, he was the OC. He went and coached Texas A&M.
Yeah, Texas A&M.
He was with the Texans for a while, and then he went to coach Texas A&M for 3 years. Then he went to Miami as offensive coordinator, and then he went into high school. And I think he is the I think he's still the head coach in Canada.
Okay. Yeah, that's the main thing about they used to give they gave Mike Sherman a hell of a lot of hell for that because of that coaches are not supposed to do that, but they gave him a lot of hell for that. And I think that was one of the main reasons why they ran him out of town because of that little encounter.
No, it wasn't that. It was just that the time Favre wasn't playing well. The team needed to be retooled and wow, nice play by Houston. The team needed to be retooled. That they were lacking skill position players. The Sherman thing was like kind of played out at that point, like the coaching. Because I mean, if people remember, like they brought in Ray Rhodes. Well, that was before Mike Sherman, but they brought him after that, and it turned Favre's career around. So because and to PSP's point about Favre and the picks, and I agree, but then you have to look at Stafford's early career too in Detroit. Like you can take as great as Stafford has been in LA, you have to take the earlier. Not that Stafford was terrible in Detroit; he just didn't win anything. And so I think Champ's point of Favre's peak was higher than Stafford's.
Yeah.
Like Stafford, the way he's playing right now this year is what Favre did for like a 5-year period.
Yeah.
And he was the best in the league. And it was like, until Manning basically came in and took that mantle, and Manning and Brady, like that was, and Kurt Warner for like a 3-year period with the Rams. Favre was, Mahomes is hurt again. He's limping. And now,
and not only that, you got to think about who I remember. Never forget, he had San Francisco's number at one point. I mean, San Francisco just couldn't beat him. I mean, and you think about the fact that San Francisco was a loaded franchise at that point, and they couldn't beat Favre. It's just like, I mean, in fact, the catch part 2, the TO catch, that was the first time that Steve Young ever beat Brett Favre.
Yeah. Yep. That one of my favorite NFL games ever is the 1995 divisional game against Green Bay going into Candlestick against San Francisco, and they weren't favored. They were the underdog, and they ended up beating the defending champs. And it was such a great game. Watching Favre and I remember being a kid watching the game. I knew they were going to win. Just the way that year that they had Chimura and Keith Jackson at the tight ends, like their offense was fucking stacked. So, I just think peak Favre. Everybody makes fun of him, and everybody thinks he's, like kind of a, I mean, he's a well-deserved. Everybody thinks he's a terrible person, regardless of whether he's suffering from Parkinson's now, which is terrible. But he's also done some really terrible things as a person. But his peak as a quarterback, it just outweighs what Stafford has done. Now, all-time ranking though. I don't know, man. If Stafford wins, he'd have to follow up with another great year and then to pass Favre. He would have to maybe win another Super Bowl, but he'd have to have like another peak year next year. And then I think he could pass Favre. Then he's sneaking into I'd really have to look at a top 10 right now, quarterback ranking wise. I think the top 5 is pretty much solidified. You can mix or match.
Brady number 1. It's Brady number 1.
And then 2 through 5 is all debatable, I think.
Yeah. Brady number 1, Montana number 2, Mahomes number 3, Peyton number 4. The top 4 solidified, I say.
Yeah, and you can argue.
Then down from there, you can argue whatever the hell you want to argue with. But that's just being real. But yeah, I mean those top 4 is solidified. But
yeah,
damn, what happened on Patrick Mahomes?
I just want to say, bravo, Shedeur Sanders.
That was our next topic, by the way.
Sorry, I got ahead of us.
No, it's okay. We segue right into our next segment, man. Almost 400 yards of offense, 4 touchdowns. Had that one big pick in I think it was the third quarter, but overall he did damn good.
Yeah.
Almost brought him back. I don't know what the fuck they was. Oh, excuse me.
Should have
I don't know.
they should have tied the game. I don't know what the heck Kevin
Yeah,
Stefanski was thinking on that 2 point
that
conversion.
that's
Yeah,
stupid.
they pulled out that cheap ass Wildcat, and I don't know what
Yeah.
that was, but to look, I don't try to get into the whole specifics of the conspiracy theory and shit like that. And that's just being me. I try to be a little bit too PC, but the thing is, I understood because Quinshawn Judkins, he is that type of back. He could get you that 2 point conversion in that type of situation. But I don't know what kind of play transpired on that. It was just like, what the hell? But yeah, he took the ball out of his hand. I think he should have kept it in his hand. I will say that. But he was, I mean, and the chemistry he built with Jared Judy, I mean, that was good. I mean, threw a 60-yard dart. Matter of fact, that was the best game any Cleveland Browns quarterback has had all year long. So
Yeah, his completion percentage was a little much to be desired. Like he's got to get that up at about give me at least 60. That's the thing. You want to be hovering around 60. He was at 54 and a half or a little above that. That's a little low, but the kid was making plays, and that's a team right now that is not um they're not in playoff contention. They're just kind of playing for they're playing to see. But the fact that he also rushed for a touchdown too. So now we can all say it's against Tennessee, and Tennessee's been the worst team in the league all year. So you can take it with a grain of salt. But at the same time, though, he played well. So for all the haters out there, he played well. So
yeah,
I think he's earned. I think he's going to start the rest of the year, and I think he should start the rest of the year. And and let's see what he does. Let's see if he plays well the rest of the year. Does he earn the starting job going into next year? Depending on unless they draft a top guy or something,
or try to get the rest of their money out of Mr. Marcus.
Yeah. So bravo. I want to see more. Let's see. I don't want the kid to fail. I want to see the kid can keep going. This is a step in the right direction. So bravo to him.
Sadur, I'm glad that you are doing what you're doing. And look, I'm not impressed just by the way you're handling, the football aspect. I'm loving the way that you're handling the press because they ask him some very, very asinine ass questions. It's like, really? Like, what do you think about that play? That do you think your coach is doing a good job? He's kind of checked a few reporters about that. It's like, bro, that's a rude question to ask, bro. So, but yeah, I'm loving the way he's handling the media more than necessarily the play. And look, how you handle the media is how you set precedent for your team, and the players love it. You could tell it. The players love it. Myles Garrett thinks the world of him. So it's going to be interesting to see. For those of you who keep talking about sabotaging, look, there's a difference between sabotaging and tanking. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
They're trying. Look, I'm gonna just be real. I believe this is what I believe. BRF, anybody else, y'all can have y'all's opinion about it. But here's what I believe. I believe they're trying to get a haul. I believe that they're seeing what Sadur can do, so they won't have to draft another quarterback next year, and they won't have to revisit it next year. That's what I believe. They're seeing what's in the quarterback room this year, and they're looking to see, hey, how is this young man going to handle adversity? How is he going to handle the press? How is he going to handle the spotlight? And I believe that if they get the first overall pick or something like that, then guess what? They're going to end up trading that son of a gun and getting themselves a haul so they can draft a litany of players. I don't think Jared Judy's going to be there next year at all. They're going to need a receiver. I don't think that the only two people that I can see on that offense being there next year is Haynes, who's the rookie tight end, and David Njoku. And they have a good two-back system there with Ty Simpson and Quinshawn Judkins. They need offensive line and they need receivers. I think they have a good thing going on with the defensive side of the ball, though. But I really think they're trying to get a haul so they can become better quickly. Because let's not discount this. They have that new stadium opening up in a few years. And that damn new stadium is going to be like a theme park. So they're trying to get something done quick. So when they open up that new stadium, they can open it up with momentum. So I believe they're trying to tank. That's why I believe that he's be running these bonehead ass plays, which really makes no sense whatsoever. Because if this, regardless of who it is, if somebody's airing it out like a ceiling fan and they're making their mark, then why would you take them out the game? Because the last pass that he made was a smooth ass fade route that he put it right there so only the receiver could get it. Had a smooth ass fade route. So I don't believe he's necessarily sabotaging. I believe that they're tanking and they're doing it. I don't think the fans appreciate it because they think they're sabotaging. I just think that Cleveland's saying, "Look, we're not that good this year, and guess what? We're going to need a lot of things.
Ooh.
We're going to need a lot of things next year in order to be good." What you see?
Rasheed Rice just got lit up.
I think Kansas City pulls this game off.
I think they do too, man, because I don't think Houston has enough. And CJ Stroud, he hasn't really. There's been a lot to be desired since that high caliber year that he's had, his rookie year. It seems like he's digressed.
Yeah, I don't. It's weird. He looked like the second coming his rookie year.
Yeah,
And he is just not.
he's just digressed a little bit every single year. Now, granted, it's because of the O line. I always say the quarterback can't throw on his back, but he's just digressed every single year. And I'm like, what are you going to do in order to combat that at a certain point? Because I'm wondering, how are you going to move forward? And because it's about that time for you to get paid at a certain point, And when you start paying these quarterbacks, if you're going to pay a guy $250 million, he better be able to go out here and do what Josh Allen's doing. Because right now, the only Pro Bowler that Josh Allen has is his running back. Offensive line, shaky a little bit. Defense, shaky a little bit. You better have a guy out there that could go out there and put up some damn points without having a $1 billion roster around him. So that's what I believe. I'm going to just be real. There should be tiers when it comes to paying these quarterbacks. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. Tier 1, you're the best of the best. You deserve a $200 million contract. You are a king maker. You can make something out of nothing. You can make a gourmet. I can bring potted meat, crackers, and onions, and ranch dressing, and all these type of ingredients that really doesn't make sense, and you can make something out of it. Tier 2, it requires you a little bit more help. Tier 3, we got to build a magnificent roster around you in order for you to be great. That's how it used to be at a certain point. I never forget one thing that I think it was Phil Simms. Phil Simms had said. He said, when my father was playing for the New York Giants, yes, he was the quarterback, but he did not make more than Lawrence Taylor. Why? Because he wasn't Lawrence Taylor. So that's the thing. There needs to be tiers. I mean, and you have a chance to get to those tiers. If you make a Pro Bowl 2 to 3 times in your rookie contract, guess what? That puts you in a certain tier. You will go to an All Pro. That automatically, if you make All Pro within your first couple years on your rookie contract, that automatically puts you in a certain tier. So yeah, there needs to be tiers about that. All this paying these guys just because it's kind of like dating somebody because they look good. I'm going to take you out on a date. We're going to go on a date and go on several dates just because you look good. That's just how that is. Stop being. The NFL has to stop. I understand this newer generation. We're coming off of what's going on with the NFL. I believe it's not that It's not that all of these quarterbacks are underdeveloped. Some of them are developed. But the thing is, we're coming off of the heels of the greatest quarterback era ever. The past 3 decades, we've been spoiled. Well, the past 40 years, we've been spoiled. From the 90s all the way up to the 20s, we've been spoiled. We transitioned from Marino, Steve Young, Brett Favre, Troy Aikman, Warren Moon, Jim Kelly, and all those great quarterbacks. Then we went to the 2000s. We got spoiled in that decade. We had the Brady and Manning rivalry that just took the whole decade by storm. Then we get to the 2010s. Drew Brees is throwing for all of these yards, and still, in my humble opinion, Drew Brees was the Sammy Sosa of the NFL. He was the Sammy Sosa. Remember, Sammy Sosa was the first player in MLB history to hit for over 60 home runs in 3 consecutive years. And in all 3 of those years, he never led the league in home runs.
No.
He was essentially the Sammy Sosa of the NFL.
Which is crazy to think about.
And that's how great this last quarterback era was. And we're not getting that this time. We're back in the 80s where it's like 3 or 4, it's like 5 guys that's gonna just be air specialty types. And the rest of them, guess what? You need some help. We need a line. We need this. You can't make chicken salad out of chicken crap. That's what I believe. But if you could give me your magnificent opinion and take about Shedeur Sanders and the great game that he had today, BRF, I would most certainly appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely. Today was a. I mean, we can say. I mean, we can say. People can say what they want. People can say what they want about the fact. Oh, well, it was just the Tennessee Titans. Let me tell you something. Dylan Gabriel played some trash defenses before he got sat down, and he couldn't do a thing. So,
Miami Dolphins come to mind.
Exactly. He played some trash. He played some trash defenses and couldn't do anything. So, and like. And people, people trying to get on talking about the Raiders and all this stuff. The Raiders came into that game was the 14th ranked defense in football. The Raiders' struggles is not their defense. I can promise you that. But just you could see the way he's reading the defenses, some of the throws he's making, his pocket presence, just everything about him. You see why he was a first to second round graded quarterback going into the draft. You're seeing his attributes on the field. Like it's like just looking at him play. It's starting to really feel astonishing that a lot of people in the Cleveland Browns organization really thought Dylan Gabriel was like that over him. It's kind of astonishing to even think that people thought Dylan Gabriel was like that. Because Shedeur Sanders has done more in like 3 to 4 games or however many he's played more than he has all year. I mean, but it's just like I said, like it's just like that was something I brought up with him when he was still at Colorado. Like I felt like one of his surprising attributes was his ability to progress and read the defenses and kind of go through all his reads. And like I talked about on PSPs on the PSP show. Shout out to the homie PSP on his pod. I talked about a particular play in from that San Francisco game where it's like, okay, it's like, oh man, 5th round rookie quarterback shouldn't be doing it. Like, hey, y'all remember he was a first, 2nd round graded quarterback. It was a play in which you had David Njoku at the top, tight end 1-on-1. You had a bunch formation at the bottom. And then when the ball snapped, that bottom defensive end goes into his zone coverage, takes away 2 of his reads right off the bat. And then you get Jerry Jeudy, as I believe it was the middle route coming out of the bunch, runs a short enough route, but he's covering the sticks. He breaks the sticks. San Francisco's middle linebacker blitzes up, drops back into his zone coverage, takes that immediate read away. Jerry Jeudy has the mindset and has the wherewithal to break that route off, go upfield. Shedeur Sanders, still being in the pocket, has gone through all his progressions. He should be sacked. The fact that he still has the wherewithal to see Jerry Jeudy break that route, go deep, and chunk it to him. And even though he overthrew him, the fact that he was able to recognize and get on the same page with his receiver in an aspect like that shows the smarts that he really does have playing the quarterback position. And a throw he made today, the touchdown to Njoku in the end zone, he throws him open. He literally throws him open. Like he puts it in he puts it in a place. Only David Njoku can catch that ball, and I'm talking about laid it on him perfectly. This is why people felt like this is why some people felt like he was the best quarterback coming out. Some people had him at a first round grade. Some people had a second round grade because the attributes and the skills are there. And we can talk about the defenses and the opponents he's had all we want. At the end of the day, you still got to go out there and get it done. You still have to go out there and play. Because there have been lots of guys who have played far worse defenses and have looked far worse against bad defenses. So if nothing else, he is taking advantage of his opportunity and he's playing really, really well. And it just that 2-point conversion call, when I saw the play, I saw what they were trying to do, but Quinshawn Judkins messed the entire thing up because when he took the Wildcat snap, he was supposed to toss it to the wide receiver. I think that was going to be a pass. I think that was going to be a Wildcat wide receiver pass to the end zone. And then when Quinshawn Judkins fails to lateral the ball, you're in a practically a no-win situation. But just I don't know what Kevin Stefanski was thinking, taking the ball out of Shadir Sanders' hands. The way he had been playing all game, you got to give him the ball in that situation. 31-29, 2-point conversion chance to tie that game up. You got to let him go out there and try to make a play in that situation. Now, shout out to Shadir Sanders for not throwing him under the bus, for not calling out that play call. He is showing himself, and he's quickly kind of what's the word I'm thinking of?
The
In
maturation process.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, his like the maturation process. Even though I felt like he already had that coming into the league. I felt like being around Dion, being in that crazy environment, which was the University of Colorado, you had to have media training because they were in the spotlight every week being at Colorado. He already had to have that training. So to come in here and already have an understanding of, how to present himself, how to talk to the media, how to answer certain questions, you can see it. And he's just carrying himself in such a way that is really kind of it's that first impression to his teammates, and they're taking to him. And particularly when you got Miles Garrett ready to run through a brick wall for you, I'm sorry. That stands for something. When you have a guy like Miles Garrett, who is the best defensive player in football, and he's already fallen in love with your character as the starting quarterback of this team, that goes a long way. So I don't see any reason why you roll with him the rest of the year. You see if he continues to improve. Me personally, if I'm the Cleveland Browns, if I'm that organization, regardless of who's the coach, I go into 2026, Shadir Sanders as my starting quarterback. I do, and I'm with you, champ. I think they try to get a high draft pick. I think they trade out of whatever they get, whether it's one, whether it's two, whether it's three. I think they trade out of it, recoup a boatload of capital, and then just go to fill holes. Like you said, they need receiver help. They need offensive line help. In my opinion, I would love to see them draft another end to pair with Myles Garrett. As good of a defensive end as he is, he can't do it by himself. He cannot do it by himself. And Mason Graham has been a pretty good draft pick for the Browns as well. That defensive tackle, he's been pretty good for him as well.
They had a hell of a rookie class this year.
Yeah, exactly. And that core, that Cleveland Browns core, is low key pretty good when you consider the missing piece is how is Shadur going to mature and translate into the NFL? Because if he translates and he looks to be the guy that's going to be the future of your franchise, that's him. That's Quinshawn Judkins. That's Tyler Sampson. That's Harold Fannin Jr. And you still have David Njoku, he's still not even 30 yet, and you got him locked up. So I mean, that is a hell of a core to build off of going into 20. Not to mention Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond has been a pretty good receiver right there. So the core is there. They low key snuck out a pretty good offensive young nucleus going into 2026. You
Yeah.
need to shore up that O line. You need to shore up that O line. Get another target opposite of Isaiah Bond because, like you said, I don't think they bring Jerry Judy back.
Hell no.
And then maybe, and like I said, I would say shore up that front seven. Get another pass rusher to take some of that burden off of Myles Garrett. Cleveland has low key snuck into something. It's up to the front office to really put that cherry on the top and really get this right. Because if they can get this right,
They can
they
open
low
up that
key
new.
got a shot to do something for the next few years. It opens up a lot of doors for them to really compete. If they nail 2026 in the offseason through free agency or the draft, they got a shot. They really have a shot to do something. But yeah, man, Shador is kind of. I'm happy for him that he's playing well, but to an extent, I saw enough of it at Colorado. I'm not surprised if that makes sense.
If you want any evidence, I'm just gonna be real before we close out the show, and then we're gonna answer DC's question. If you needed any evidence, if I needed any evidence, the point that I knew that he could play, just the fact that he succeeded under Pat Shermer. That's all the evidence that I needed.
Agreed.
You
I,
succeeded under Pat Shermer. That's all the evidence that I really, really needed. You was all all Big Ten, all Big Ten under all Big 12 under that regime. Pat
Dude was
Shermer.
a Heisman candidate. Dude was a Heisman candidate.
Exactly. So you were doing that during that time. That was really all I needed
I
to
mean,
see.
let's be honest. His biggest enemy was himself.
Biggest
And
enemy was himself and that damn offensive line that he had. I just say
yeah,
that. But I would say, yeah. I mean, sometimes look, I'm gonna just be real. Look, everybody, I'm trying to put this in a way where I don't sound like fucking Jason Whitlock. Let me put this in a great way.
every once in a while, Jason Whistle, even he makes a good point now and then.
Fuck Jason Whitlock.
A dead clock is right twice a day.
Mm, but I'm trying to put this. You're only allowed to be as arrogant as you are good. Let's
Yeah,
just be real. You're only
There you
allowed
go.
to be as arrogant as you are good.
that's not
When
Jason Whitlock.
when
That's just the truth.
well, no, I ain't want to bring the R card in it and shit like that. You know me.
Oh,
But yeah, you know some idiot in the damn audience is gonna say some shit like that. But just be real. But you're only allowed to be as arrogant as you are good. Granted, you were good at Colorado, but people will acknowledge that that was kind of a thin draft class. And if you had been the Heisman, if you had been elected, I believe he got snubbed out of his Heisman candidacy. But had you went to, let's say, the college football playoffs, that would have been something else to behold rather than just a bowl game. And if you know the NFL like we do, look, let's just be real. They don't like very jerkish quarterbacks. In fact, they really toss them aside once they get older. They did. I mean, if you don't believe that, look at how the media treats Aaron Rodgers now that he's older. He's not the media darling that he once was.
no.
So you're only allowed to be as arrogant as you are good. When Baker Mayfield was in Cleveland, he was vilified. Once he got to Tampa Bay, then guess what? He got even better than what he was, and he was able to develop and do his thing, and he was allowed to be as cocky as he was. People talk about what Johnny Manziel was allowed to be arrogant. Bullshit. Because everybody knew that he was the next Ryan Leaf. I even knew that. I saw that from a mile away. He enjoyed being a celebrity more than he did a quarterback. And so you saw it from a mile away.
I didn't think Johnny Manziel's skill translated to the next level anyway. I saw too much him at Texas A&M as thrown like the way he threw the ball, the way he operated. I didn't think he was going to translate to the NFL anywhere.
Yeah. So that was the thing. You're only allowed to be as arrogant and cocky as you are good. And if you're great, people will accept it. So
Yep.
let's just be very, very honest about that. So yeah, you're allowed. I don't care who you are. You're allowed to be cocky. You're allowed to be, confident. But guess what? You're only going to be as allowed to be as confident as you are good. The funniest thing about the Oakland Raiders is this: as long as they were winning games, they were allowed to be the bad boys of the league. When they start losing, then guess what? That shit stopped. Same thing with the University of Miami. Same thing with the Bad Boy Pistons. Same thing's going to happen eventually with Draymond Green once his skill starts declining. When you are the when you are the face of, let's say, confidence, then guess what? You have to be really damn good in order to make people look away and just pay attention directly to your game. Otherwise, people are going to say, well, it's his arrogance, even though it may not be. Your locker room may love you and your locker room may rally around you. Hell, look at Caleb Williams. People still criticize him about wearing them damn fingernails or whatever the hell. But well, in public opinion, you're only allowed to be as good as cocky as you are great. Once you are great and on that plateau, then guess what? I feel as though it'll be more accepted. And I will say this with Sador, young man, I don't think you watch my television show, our television show. It's not just mine, it's ours. But I would like to tell you, once you get to a certain point where we know you're going to be great, we know you're going to be good, we know you're going to be a Pro Bowler one day, and even an All Pro, keep this same energy that you have right now. Keep this fifth round draft pick mentality. Keep that mentality. When the press asks you a stupid question, let them know that was a dumb question. Keep the same energy and the same media training that you have now. Still be the guy that everybody loves and wants to rally around and things of that nature. Still be that same guy. You can grow and not change. And to Rex Ryan's point, I understand what he said. He's been kind of a ruse as of lately. He's been kind of a dick. I don't really like Rex Ryan. I think he was a mediocre coach at best. He was nowhere near the coach that his father was. But to his point, when you lose, say I, and when you win, say we. He has a point. Keep that same energy as you're growing, because, like I stated, the media's watching you. Everybody's watching you. Not everybody wants to see you succeed, and you're only going to be as allowed to be as cocky or arrogant as you are good. And if you're not good, well, you got to be great in order to get the pass for being cocky. You got to be great. You got to be fucking magnificent. The thing about, people talk about how arrogant Dan Marino was. He was great. And the thing was, he was so great, people don't even tell you. You don't hear about how arrogant that he was until you watch documentaries.
Yeah.
Early in Aaron Rodgers' career, you really didn't hear about how prickish he really, really was. You know, they go back into the draft class and they tell you that, but you don't really hear how prickish he really was until later on in his career. Same thing with Brett Favre and a lot of other great quarterbacks. You're only going to be as allowed to be as cocky as you are great. And you have to understand where you are in that pecking order. So I want you to remain the same and handle the media like I know you can handle it, and keep going out here and airing it out like a ceiling fan, because you're doing a damn good job the last couple of weeks. That's all I have to say about that. Anything you guys want to add?
No, I'm good. How about you?
Let's go to the chat real quick. I'm going to answer DC's questions. One of my good friends. Do you think JSN can break Calvin Johnson's record? Real quick, nope. I don't think
Where's he at yardage wise now?
he is at 1,400 yards.
No. How many games they got left?
Let me see, because I was just on it as I was talking. I think they got like 4 games left. I don't think he can break that unless they go out here and air this son bitch out. He gets 300 yards a game. Now he got like 4 games left. Got one against the Colts, then the Rams, then the Panthers, then the 49ers. And people don't understand this. The let's just be honest. They're not a very, very pass heavy team, the Seattle Seahawks are.
No.
They're not a very pass heavy team. He's doing this on a very, very pass heavy, on a very, very run heavy team. So the fact that he's putting up these yards at all like this is amazing within itself. They run the ball a hell of a lot more than they pass the ball. So that's another thing that we got to look out for.
Yeah, I think if he was still on that pace, Yeah, but I think he had a game last week where he only had 2 catches. That hurt him a lot. So it depends. There's a couple of opponents he has in that last four that could like he could light up a couple of those opponents. Like you got don't get me wrong. I mean, you got Indianapolis Colts passing defense has not been the greatest as of late, so he could do some damage to them. Carolina, they're iffy. I mean, you never know. It's possible. I think I think he's gonna. I think he might have a game where if he has a game where he goes off, and I can see him having one of those go off games. I think it's a small shot.
So you're saying it's a chance.
I'm saying it's a chance.
All right. What do you think, Flashman?
I mean, we have the extra game now, so I mean, breaking records is a little weird of a topic for me. But he'd have to catch fire again, like how he was in the beginning of the year, and I just don't see it. But um, no, I don't think he does.
That's fair. Last question. Is Derek Stingley Jr. a top 10 corner in the league? Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I
I'd say
think,
so.
yeah, he can. That's top 5 argument if you
I
ask
think
me.
yeah, he's in top 5 conversation as far as I'm concerned.
Top 5. But I'll say this once and I'll say it again. We ain't got to go home, but we got to get the hell out of here. Anything else you guys would like to tell the audience or words of encouragement that you would like to add before we go off the air?
Nope.
Mhm.
Just happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Everybody stay safe and do your thing and enjoy the Christmas spirit. Let's say that. I'm a cheese ball when it comes to Christmas. So
Yeah. Watch some
Yeah,
Chevy watch some Chevy Chase movies and stuff like
I'm telling you,
see,
I'm telling you, get some.
Vacation is one of my favorite films.
yeah.
Yeah, get some National Lampoon in there. Get a little bit, little bit of Home Alone, a little bit of
Yep.
Miracle on 34th Street,
There you go.
Christmas Story, whatever movie taste floats your boat this holiday season. Just
Get the peanuts in there and everything.
go exactly. Just go with it, enjoy it. Just never. Every time we get around the holiday season and stuff like this, you always gotta remember to not take it for granted because it could be here one day and gone the next. So you just
That's what
have
you
to
got, kid.
you have to appreciate what you got, and you just have to take it. You have to treat it. You have to treat it and just enjoy the blessings that come with it. Spending it with family, friends, just being alive. So they'll always be grateful for what y'all have, and just like I said, don't take it for granted. Go out and enjoy it, man. This is Christmas. This is the time this is the season for it. So definitely appreciate the love and support as well. Like Champ said, we're over 200 subscribers now on the podcast. Thank y'all so very much for supporting us. We're going to continue to push this, and we're going to continue to keep us going. As long as y'all got us, we got y'all at the end of the day.
Yes, indeed. And speaking of Chevy Chase, I encourage you guys to go check out whenever it comes out Chevy Chase's documentary. I can't wait to see it. To be honest with you, he has a new documentary coming out. There's a lot of big documentaries that are out. The biggest one is probably the Reckoning documentary on Netflix, but I encourage you to check out a lot of other sports documentaries. We have, as you guys know, I'm a history buff, especially with sports. You have the Super Bowl Shuffle documentaries out about the Chicago Bears about in 1985. There's a lot of insight that goes into that. You have John Elway's documentary that is coming out pretty soon. You have the Tampa Bay Bucks documentary that's coming out on the 11th, and in February, this is one that I'm really waiting on. It's coming out on A&E, the San Francisco 49ers dynasty of the 80s and the early 90s. So be on the lookout for those documentaries. But I encourage everybody to go check out those documentaries, and I can't wait to Chevy Chase's documentary comes out as well. Because, like I said, that guy was a big part of my childhood, and it seems like we're losing a lot more of our heroes and the people who we grew up on each and every day. So,
Yeah. Real quick. Yes, now you said that real quick before we go off the air. I want to send prayers and condolences out to the family of Hiroyuki Tagawa. If you don't know him, he was
Shang
Shang
Tsung.
Tsung. He was Shang Tsung in the original Mortal Kombat, as well as played some
Oh yeah.
all time great villains in my childhood. So yes, definitely prayers and condolences out to his family, and I mean, just one of the greatest. Mortal Kombat is arguably the greatest video game adaptation into a movie of all time, and his portrayal of Shang Tsung is epic. I mean, that scene at the beginning where he has Liu Kang's brother and he points and it's your soul is mine. I mean, just chills. I mean, he knew how to be a villain and he knew how to play those roles. And like I said, Kerry Hiroyuki Tagawa, it was an honor watching you act, and prayers and condolences to his friends and his family and everybody associated with that man. 75 years young, so definitely sending prayers and condolences to his family.
Hey, not to mention, man, I know he played Shang Tsung, but Johnny Tsunami, I liked that movie.
Yes,
Johnny,
yes,
hey, look, that was one of those movies where you kind of had to be there. Johnny Tsunami was one of those movies you just kind of had to be there. You know, but you knew when that guy came up on the screen and did that split on the Disney Channel back then, back before the streaming, you knew it was going to be a good day when it came on. When it came on Friday. But happy holidays. Um, happy holidays. What? Nope. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Let's
Merry,
just
Merry Christmas to
Merry
everybody.
Christmas and praise God.
Yeah, that's right.
Just,
Not everybody forget what the what the true meaning
and
of
praise
Christmas
God.
is.
If you don't get shit for Christmas, just remember you made it through a year. A lot of motherfuckers got killed this year, so chill, slow your roll about the gifts and everything like that. A lot of people didn't make it through this year. A lot of folks got hurt. A lot of people, you know, they don't have their families. They are homeless. Pay attention to what you got and shut the fuck up about what you don't have. Praise God. I know it's not polite nor to use God and a curse word in another sentence, but that's as blunt as I can be right about now. Just be freaking appreciative. Don't be around here whining about what you don't got because you ain't got $1 million in your pocket. Because guess what? Hey man, there are a lot of folks miserable with that money in their pocket. So
You
That's
got
what I was about to
you
say.
have air.
Exactly.
You have air in your lungs, which means that your whatever you're going through can change
like that.
like that.
So
So just a reminder that this season isn't about Santa Claus and presents. Like this
it's
is
about God and
about God
and Jesus.
and
So
Jesus. So
be mindful of that.
yeah,
It ain't about you. Presents are just a plus.
no, so
All right.
all right. Love
On that
everybody.
note, we're done imparting wisdom.